Greetings, people, and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man Probably Presents. You know what day it is. This is Comic Book Talk with Friends. You already know what it is. It's that Monday where we sit back and we talk shop. This is the Monday coming off of, if you've already attended, if those out there of y'all who did attend, if you missed it, you missed something sensational. Definitely it was the Comic-Con New York this past weekend. I mean, it was such, I mean, besides the simple fact that Vincent Dunn can literally, I think he can outwalk Jesus Christ. Like literally, bro, he can outwalk Jesus. This man does not stop walking. And I'm like, yo, it's a damn shame because we're like almost around the same age. And I'm like, my knees, I was like, oh, but you know what? My dumbass fault was the simple fact that I wore a pair of royal blue Jordan 1s for 2 days. I shouldn't have did it. Jedi Pimp, don't say shit.
You should have been rocking some new balance.
I know. I should have did it. It was my. You already know. You already know. I shouldn't have did it. My knees. Yes, it was terrible. And then I rounded off Sunday with a pair of classic Reeboks because they were comfortable and
oh my god,
those were okay though.
Those Skechers with those thick ass soles.
They're not for walking, bro. They're strictly for like showing out with it with the classic Reeboks.
I know, but you know it is what it is, man. It's not. They are, but I kind of fumbled the rock on that. But here's the thing: I wasn't the only one who wore Jordan Classics 1s. Vinny had them on for 2 days too, and was still walking.
Retro like, Jordan 1s.
Yo, this man can literally outwalk Jesus Christ, bro. Like straight up, like this non-stop walking, bro. Like I don't know.
You had all year. You had all year to prep, bro. You gotta do like you gotta do the Rocky training sequence on the beach, running with Apollo Creed in the sand.
Bro,
well,
Apollo Creed.
Well, if you're saying he can walk longer than Jesus, I mean, the Jews did wander through the desert for a long ass fucking time.
I'm saying,
but it took them 40 days. I probably would have made it in like 10.
Yo, I'm saying, like, I can't listen. The man can walk like and dip and walk and dip. Me, I have to literally in between sessions. I'm sitting down. I'm like, yo, I'm using the excuse that I want to eat my food. So I sat down on the steps to eat, just to kind of rejuvenate, get my knees back in order.
Meanwhile, his inner monologue is doing fucking Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit.
Yo, straight up. Yo, hold up. So this is what happened. Yo, check this out. It was the first day there. So we walked. Okay, so we get done with the con. We walked to the hotel, right? So check this out. We walked to the hotel, then we walked because there was a pizza shop. Now, where was the pizza shop? Now we were on 44th, right?
Yeah, the pizza shop was on like 30th.
The one across from Jacob Javits?
No. The pizza shop across from Penn Station.
Penn Station.
It's a shop called Pizza Supreme. It's dope that we like, and that's about 12 blocks away, which isn't far in New York, but I mean.
Okay, so it's not far, but here's the thing. 12 blocks becomes 24 blocks when you're walking from Jacob Javits Center all the way to 44th.
First,
and then down.
Stuff and down after we walked all day. So the funniest part after that is we got done pizza and it was still only like 9 o'clock. So Toya and I was like, all right, cool. What else are we going to do? And Leia was like, what do you mean? What else are we gonna do? Yo, y'all know how
we just walk like
y'all know Family Guy. Y'all know Family Guy when he hurts his knee. He's like, that was him with
his legs. Yo, Vinny was like, so hold up.
So I was like, my sciatica.
Listen, hold on. Vinny was like, Vinny was like, so we get all the way. So we get basically to the corner. We get to 44th. So I'm right. all right, cool, I made it. Like we can just walk down the block.
Yo.
we can just go
And
down
me and
the block.
Toy was like, all right, cool. Are we going to town square? We're going back to the road. And Leia was like, home. It's right there. I see it.
Bro, I can look
a little
down the
whimper.
street.
We almost there.
Bro, I literally saw the hotel. I was right there, bro. It was like, you know what it was? If you remember, like Poltergeist, bro, the first Poltergeist when she was trying to go save her son, and the room was right there. And when you started running, it got longer, bro. That's how it was. I was like,
oh my God.
I can't. So at that point, if my girl's walking and she's ready to walk, he's walking, I can't punk out. So my punk ass was like, all right, cool. Let's just go to Times Square. I'm cool. Because I was like, if I sit
swear
down,
next year,
I'm not
Leo's
gonna
gonna be
get
one
back
of those dudes like riding around in the little like scooter, the little carts. He's
Possibly.
No, like y'all gonna get them.
He's got the like the
slip-on
little
Skechers.
flag on top.
bro.
You're gonna have the next year. He's gonna have the
Skechers,
bro. We walked and walked and walked. But here's the thing. Because it's nothing new. Because this is what we do. It was just this year, for some reason, my dumbass did not wear the proper shoes.
He's gonna be wearing some E6 next year.
Doing it retros, bro.
But I had the same days on. I had J's on too.
They did not
You had J's on.
bro.
I had J's on all 3 days.
He had determination though.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. He knew he was going after.
I knew it was coming. But you did too. You talked about it all year. Like, all right.
I know. But here's the thing,
if
bro.
you come to Comic-Con, y'all got to work on your cardio because Vinny, you need to take your own advice.
He did say that, bro.
It was true. But
He
here's
said
the
that
point.
like 3 shows ago. Dog.
See, listen, it's
this
different.
coming from the health nut vegan of the group, by the way.
No, it's
the health nut
different.
vegan. Every time me and Brendan post meat, he get mad.
Hell yeah. But check it out. It's different when you're there with your girl.
All those alfalfa sprouts really doing wonders
with your girl. And then, hold up. But check it out. I thought Vinny was the only person, bro, that was dipping. My old girl was dipping, bro. She was dipping in different spots.
I saw her. She's posting.
What's you say, Brendan?
And
bro,
she's online and like you're nowhere to be seen.
Bro, she's dipping in different spots. I'm like, yo, she's on her way basically to go to this place, that place. She's just dipping everywhere. And I'm like, come on, man. Like literally. So I was like, you know what? Next year, I know exactly what to do and how to.
Lumi's got a good idea in the chat.
Get you a hoverboard,
what you say?
The whole time.
Yeah, she did. Lumi showed up. She said, I wore my platform chucks. They were comfortable. Yeah, she did. Lumi came in. She dressed up. Oh, and on top of that, Lumi's cosplay was dope, bro. She dressed up.
I saw the one that was that.
Yeah, Nubia. She dressed up as Nubia, bro. She killed that.
Dope.
She definitely killed that.
She killed that. Yeah.
She killed that. What Toya say? His last toes on his left foot are still numb, y'all. Yo.
Toya, stop, yo.
Yo, he got the dead foot from Mr. Deeds.
Oh my God, bro. We walked.
Latoya, did he ask you for a foot rub? Did he ask you for a foot rub?
Oh God. Don't put Toya through that.
No, because you know what it was? Bro, she got back to the hotel room, right? Took a shower and went to sleep. Quick. I was still up, like just rubbing my knees.
All that damn walking.
Yeah,
Vinny.
Like Peter.
Yo,
like, baby, where's the big day?
Next year he's going as Hannibal Lecter so somebody could push him around in a dolly.
Yo.
Wheel me over today. I want to take a picture, y'all.
Need a hoverboard, bro.
My daughter say he does not play around with feet either. Nope, I don't. You already know that, baby girl. She knows I do not plays with them. Not at all. It's not happening.
God.
But all in all,
like, baby, prop me up in the window so I can see the sun.
Bro.
That's all I want to see. You give me the sunlight.
Bro. What? Lewis was there. He said, my feet are strong. Lewis, here's the thing. Lewis was there with us, right? So he's walking around. I think he just discovered how Vinny really is because Lewis was like, yeah, so I'm gonna talk to you guys later on. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he probably dipped out on y'all.
Lewis like, I'm not playing that.
Though you got Vinny, you got Toya, you got Lumi, you got Lewis. Everybody else, their feet are fine. It's only you, old man Mace Windu.
Because he wore the retro ones.
It wasn't just me.
Jordan,
it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me.
When Jordan had the sneakers made for him to play ball in. They had a cushion made for him on the inside of the shoe. Cause that sole is not thick at all, bro.
Nah, it's not.
You feeling all four.
Nah, it's not.
Nah, think about it. Like
they
usually
don't sell the game day version of Jordans.
Nah, hell no.
And Leo's like me. Usually, when we wear J's, is for certain occasions. Like we are sneakerheads, so we don't have J's that are worn in. We got J's that we wear on occasions.
On occasion, that's what I'm saying.
None of these kicks are worn in. So every pair of kicks I wore this weekend was the first time I was wearing them too. So
wouldn't you be worried about? Wouldn't you be worried about like people like stepping on them at a con?
Oh no, we tread lightly. We tread lightly. Not one person stepped on my shoe.
Other people don't tread lightly.
Not one person stepped on my shoe at all. At all. At all.
Yeah, you gotta be too focused on the books and stuff and the cars that even step on your sneakers.
Leo, how many booths did you stop at that you weren't even all that interested in, but you just wanted to buy some time for yourself?
Probably all of them. All of them.
Bro, I stopped at the booths that Toya stopped at. She's Vinny's Dipset. So here's the thing. Like literally, bro. Like Vinny is all right. So does anybody in the show? All right. So does anybody watch Atlanta? The show Atlanta? Did you watch Atlanta?
I'm behind on it. I still haven't.
All
right.
I
gotta go all the way back to the beginning because it's been so long and I'm so far.
If you watch the first season of Atlanta,
I have to watch it.
Okay, so the first season of Atlanta, when he was putting his cousin on, they went to this club. And the club where he went to, he was asking the dude to give him his money. He was like, all right, he's performing. Dude would dip behind walls, he had like these secret passageways that he would be talking to him. As soon as dude turns his head, he would dip behind walls.
Oh, so he avoid pain.
That was Vinny the entire time. He would dip, but then for some fucking magical reason would show up at the end of the joint. I'm like, yo, you was just back there, bro. Like I just watched you. How did you get here? Dipping, bro. Just dipping. But the thing is, he would dip so quick and have a new bag in his hand at the end, putting pictures in his tube. I'm like, where'd you get that shit from? You was just behind us.
He's not walking. He Nightcrawler, man.
See,
I don't know, bro.
In every picture,
line of sight.
Benny looks so energetic and happy.
Bro, that's every day. What you mean? Bro, he woke up like literally. Vinny's up. Listen, Vinny's up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, taking a shower, getting himself ready. I heard the zip bag. I turn over. He got a t-shirt. I'm like, the fuck? So he's ready to go. Like he's already ready to go, getting breakfast. He's
were you guys all in the same room?
Yeah, we were all basically. And don't even let me discuss the room situation, bro, because that shit was fucking insane. But it was just nuts. But it was just the whole experience, bro. It was incredible. But I'm telling you, look, everybody out there. It's worth the price of admission, not just the con, but just to watch fucking Vinny work and watch
on the move.
Like on the move, bro. And I'm like, yo, half the people there ain't moving like that, bro. Yo, it was just incredible.
On a mission.
Vinny was living, man. You could tell in every picture he was in, he looked so full of energy and life.
Bro,
you in that picture, bro, you look so mad, dog. You look so mad almost every picture. I look mad as hell, like, damn.
Vinny, did you even meet Luminara? Because she said both times she met up with them, you were nowhere to be found.
And then I found them.
So
I would be somewhere else.
They couldn't find you, but you found them.
Yeah, that's how it always works. Yep. Like ask Lumi. She would meet up with them, but I was like, whatever they were doing was too slow, so I was off, and then I would see, they found.
Do you have some sort of like internal algorithm that lets you know, okay, it's been X amount of time, so they're here by now, so I'm gonna find them there?
Absolutely. This is what would happen. No, be in the aisle. No, I'm seriously
black magic. I mean,
if we're in the aisle, we'll be in a row. And how we do it, we got a system, right? We'll snake up and down the aisle. So let's say we're in aisle 2300, right? If they stop and they're talking and looking at something, I will keep going down that aisle and then double back. We just make sure that we stay in the same aisle. So half the time when they met up with Louis or Lumi or somebody or Urim and they made up with them, it's because they were moving slower.
So by the time they get down through one aisle, you've done that
already aisle over.
Yeah. Exactly.
The crazy part is we met up with, so Louis Labitz was like, yo, where you at? So I'm messaging him. I'm like, okay, we're under this sign. So I found him. We met, we took pictures. He's like, yo, you mind if I walk with y'all? He's like, all right, cool. Now in my mind, I was like, maybe I should tell him what's about to
Well,
happen.
Local Lou was with y'all too, right?
What the second day? No. I'm gonna tell you about Lou in a second. I'm gonna tell you what Lou's ass did. So anyway, so like the first day, so we met up with Louis. Louis was like, you mind if I walk with y'all? I was like, all right, cool. So we all walking together, we snapping it up. So we're walking different aisles. In the back of my mind, I'm looking at Louis. I know he's like, yo, what the fuck?
Tired.
Where they? Yo, they walking a lot. Like, yo, like literally, yo, we got to the aisle, like, what was it like? I think it was aisle 34. No, it was 3100. Louis was like, okay, guys, I'm gonna check y'all out. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. He was gone.
It was too much for me.
It was it was funny.
They really seeing everything. Okay,
that's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, he was like, they are really walking. They is walking.
Dude,
So,
y'all boys have fun, man. Damn.
With cons being back, man, everybody like,
yeah,
I think people are like, I'm not taking it for granted now.
Nah,
Because
it wasn't.
True.
We just went without. And then even when it came back, like it wasn't, so now people are like, man, like cons are back. I'm soaking it all in. Everything. You gotta you gotta appreciate it, man, because it's not a guaranteed thing every year.
Yeah.
Yo. But the thing is, I felt bad for like parents with kids because those kids, because you have the parents that are seasoned vets, but you got some of them kids that just don't want to walk. Like they're just like, nah, I'm tired of this. I would feel bad if Vinny, God, oh my God, don't let Vinny bring a kid.
I wouldn't. I would not.
Not to a con, bro.
I see a few parents with kids, and I'm thinking, I can't imagine how much of a headache I was to my parents when I was at Toys R Us as a kid, but not someplace like this. This would kind of be like bringing your kid to a movie. How are you going to enjoy it if your kid is going to literally be asking for the whole place?
Yeah.
My kids,
as a child, how do you pick one toy?
Yeah.
Shit, Coney Island like that
will
too.
Love it. My oldest will come with me through a con, and like we had Fan Expo Boston, and it was like toward the end of the day. We'd already been there for 6-7 hours, and my oldest, she opted to stay with me while my wife and my youngest went home. My oldest opted to stay with me, knowing full well that I was just waiting in a line for 2 hours to get a book signed by Frank Miller.
So, okay.
And she was like, I'll stay. She's all about it. But my youngest, she's excited. She gets in 10 minutes and she's like, Mommy, Daddy, carry me. I'm tired. Like,
so here's the thing.
That walk.
That's the only thing, though, that we don't do. We don't wait in lines for signings.
I only did it that one thing because it was the end of the day, and I had done everything else.
I wait in line to get started.
And we still had Sunday morning. So I didn't that was the only line that I waited in the entire time.
That's part of why. So
if it's somebody I really want, I'm gonna wait in line to get the autograph.
Yeah. Really quick though, let me address the chat because I know. Let me see what Louis. What is he saying? Because he said it right now. What did he say? What? Oh, y'all need to show off the gems you collect from the con. Oh yeah, we about to. Don't get me right. We about to in a minute. Let's see else what we got here.
Show those receipts. I want to see how much you spent.
What else we got? We got Louis.
He said
I was just immediately face palms on that one. Oh shit!
No, it's something somebody else said that's coming.
Vinny spent some bread.
Hold on.
What's gonna catch it in a second?
Is it going up? Hold on.
No, it should be right there.
Okay, hold on. It was an absolute amazing time hanging with the crew. Thanks, Lael, Vinny, and Latoya. You all rock. You too, man. Thank you very much.
We
got Amber. The room is. The room is always looking for new talent. That's why he is always on a mission. There's a prospect everywhere. Damn right. Damn right.
That's hilarious.
Right. And hold up. You know what? Damn right it is. And I got some pictures to prove it. That I'm gonna pull up here just a little bit.
That's
we
hilarious,
gonna pull them up.
bro.
But definitely, we got Latoya. We got my baby in the building. She's laughing at Amber. We got Keith, my man, Tobar's in the building, man. Thank you for being here all day, every day. Lumi's out there. We got who else, man? Renz Talentino's in the building. We got let's see here. Double Dragons Collects is in the building. What did he say? Was he there? He said, once again, man, I didn't realize you was as small. You was that small till I saw saw you next to everyone. What you trying to say, bro? What you trying to say, man? I ain't that short, bro. I'm not that short, man. Come on, man.
I see. I'm not gonna lie though. The first time we met in person, physically in person, I was like, "Oh, you're a tiny guy. Like you're smaller than I thought you were."
Brilliant, stupid.
I'm not that short, bro.
I'm just saying, I'm
definitely not that short.
No,
bro.
You are a solid 5'6".
I'm not a 5'6". I'm way taller than 5'6".
Like
No. I know that. You and Tom Cruise, man.
I'm 6'2". So
anyway, man, I'm 5'7.5", bro. That's where I'm at.
Are you almost there?
No, there's only a certain. There's a certain. You're in a certain category if you're counting half inches.
Go ahead with that. Oh no, like one is in the building.
I'm 6 and 3/4.
Malika Bain is here all day, man. Thank you for being here.
Brendan, stop, man. It's too early.
We got a $1.99 super chat from my baby. His feet hurt in them blue ones. Yeah, they did, bro. Oh yeah, yo. So hold up. So check this out. No, Black hold up. So here's a joke. This is a joke right here. We were all walking. Bro. No, listen. We were all walking. It was this lady, this girl. She had on these green. So she was dressed up. I don't know what she was dressed up as. I think she was dressed up as either as somebody from Mortal Kombat or what. I don't know what it was, but she had on these green boots. So Toya was talking about it. She pointed her out. She's like, "Yo, her feet really hurt. Look how she's walking." So we're walking and looking at it. Yo, this dude and his wife walked past us, right? Dude had the carriage in his hand. His face was forward. He didn't cut his eye not once. He didn't look at nothing else. But out his peripheral, he saw her struggling. Real loud, he was like, "Her feet hurt. Them green boots." Yo,
just announce it to them.
Bro, he announced it to everybody. Bro, it was the funniest shit. Bro, it was so funny. I'm telling you, that made we talked about this the whole 3 days.
Bro, those ankles were wobbling.
Yo, she was wobbling. She could not stand up.
Unstable.
Oh my God, people were hurting. But you should have bought them. Hey, we got Malika Bain in here with the $5 super chat. Peace, fam. Thank you for being here, man. All day, every day. We got Scaled Down Shenanigans in the building. My baby Scholar is in here. Thank you for being here, baby. Who else we got in the building with us? We got Bob Dylan all day. Thank you for being here. We got Philip the Fool is in here. Thank you for being here, brother. Amber's in here. We got
Amber, aka Den Mother to the room.
Den Mother to the room, exactly. Who else we got in here with us, man?
That makes it creepier.
No, she keeps the girls in the room in check.
She goes in the room and checks and makes sure everything's all cool. They have to get the approval from her. Yep. We got Dale A in the building. Thank you for being here, man. Too funny. But yeah, like again, back on the con, man, like it was regardless of anything, man, it was, we take back these memories because shit happens every year. Something happens every year. It is always something funny that is unforgettable about the actual cons. And you just have to be there to experience, especially we talking New York, bro.
I gotta tell you exact what you said. That hits with me because I saw a lot. I'm talking a lot of comments on Instagram and on Facebook in like various collectors groups and stuff, talking about how boring New York Comic Con was this year, right? What? And here's the thing: most of the people who were saying that weren't actually there, right?
Probably didn't even go.
So in their mind, they're thinking no announcements from Hot Toys, no announcements from any of the big statue companies, right? Like XM and Queen and stuff. And while it's cool when those companies are there, and in the past more of them have been there than there were this year. That is not what NYCC is, right? That's definitely more in San Diego's wheelhouse, but New York Comic Con is about the books and about the arts first and foremost. The other stuff is cool to have there, but that's not what it's meant to be about.
I feel like
people were saying that it was boring.
How you going to criticize it not even there?
Yeah, I feel like some people expect New York to be like San Diego and have like trailers and movie announcements. Like that's not what New York
it's not what it's about, and it never has been. They have had announcements and stuff at it in the past, but it's not the focus. And then what really surprised me, there were some people who were actually there and said, yeah, the show floor was weak as hell. It was boring. There was nothing good. And for that, I'm like, wow. All right. It's one thing if I can see people kind of misunderstanding it because they weren't there and they were just expecting a bunch of Hollywood announcements and figure and statue releases and stuff like that. That, like, I still think it's wrong, but I understand the misconception there. But if you actually paid the money for transportation, for lodging in New York City on that weekend, and to get into the show, and you thought it was boring, then you didn't know what you should have been expecting for going in there. Because exactly what Lael said, it's about, I mean, first and foremost, the comics and the art. But it's about those stories that you come away from the con with. It's about that experience when you meet up with your friends, when you go hunting, you come away with all those stories. That's what keeps people coming back to these things every year. So when people are saying it was dull or it was boring, it's like, you can say, man, I really wish that like Hot Toys had released something. I really wish that XM had announced something. You can say that. And obviously you can be like, Sideshow had their New York con and they literally announced like nothing. You can criticize them for sucking. But like to say that like the show was weak, you don't understand what these shows are about.
Here's the thing, bro.
It's not always about that.
Part. It's not always about that at all.
It's never always about that. The comics are where it all started.
Comics is where that right there is the centerpiece of what it is to be at a New York Comic Con or at any type of con. Comics, when they say Comic Con, it's comic based. That's what it is centered around. New finds, art gala, stuff like that. When you go in and basically see these pieces or even discover pieces that you haven't seen in such a long time or you've been looking for, you go on a hunt. You find prints, you meet artists, you talk to a lot of writers. That's what it's all about.
And if it was weak, you would have been struggling. You would have been bored of me, like trying to figure out what you guys wanted to do to kill time.
You would have been walking that much. I know that.
The entire time you were there.
Right.
The entire time we had fun.
Right.
Not one.
Even
I guarantee it. Like,
I mean, we could have spent all 3 days just hanging out with cosplayers, checking out all the crazy cool stuff they came up with.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
We
had such a great time.
Dude, they had an apocalypse outfit on.
Bro, the con was worth it. I mean, just sitting down, like for instance, I'm gonna pull this up real quick for everybody that doesn't know. And the thing is, like, meeting people, like so many people were walking up to me saying, look, we watched the show, such a fan of the show. You know what I mean? Like they were meeting us, greeting us, got a chance to meet this guy for the very first time. That's Louis Labitz right there. Good looking guy, really cool, down to earth.
He was fun. Fun cat.
He was a fun cat to basically be around, and he's like-minded, all there basically for comics. The conversations that we had were incredible, so it was great basically meeting him.
Is it me or in this picture am I getting like Steve-O vibes?
Who from Lewis?
Jackass.
Look
at picture a little bit. I think he's got a little bit.
With the smile,
with the way the smile there, the look in his eye, like he got a little.
Yeah, I can see that.
Bro, it was definitely awesome, meeting him there, getting a chance to sit down, and we actually met Lumi for the first time. Lumi, thank you for making me feel even shorter with those platforms on. Definitely. She got a chance to meet Jack Black.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
he was there, bro. He was definitely there. It was just all around just fun. It was just fun, and that's what Comic-Con is about. Like, okay, yeah, Sideshow wasn't there. They haven't been there the last couple of years. So I expected that. That was nothing.
Yeah, it's been like what, 3
in art. So Queen
years,
Studio
think, right?
wasn't there. But I'm gonna tell you what was there. The Artist Alley.
Artist Alley was packed.
It was
That's
packed.
worth the price of admission alone.
It was
so much talent there.
Yeah,
There was so much talent there, bro.
Artist Alley,
You get a chance
definitely.
to basically pay homage to Kim Jung Gi, basically seeing his table and how many people they added a different, like Vinny, you pointed it out. They added a table because they wanted to sign. Like everybody
as a
was signing
memoriam,
as a memoriam. They were basically just adding. That was incredible. Just actually finding some incredible pieces that you just, literally like, wow, like that's what you go for. And the thing is, it's like, I don't have enough space on my wall to put these prints, but so the fuck what? I know that I'm gonna put some
rotate
of these
them.
exactly rotate out like new prints, new pieces that I got. That's what we always do.
Boss Logic was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boss Logic was there.
Yeah.
Did you get any prints from him?
Ric Flair. No. Ric Flair was there. Like
I didn't get a chance to see Ric Flair either.
Nah. Oh, well, I met Rick. I met Rick, the one down here. Rick is cool.
Well, yeah, Boss Logic was there. Was doing, like, I mean, come on, that's.
Vinny,
cool.
I'm gonna pull up.
Also, he's in Australia, so he doesn't come to the
Boss
States
Logic,
all that often.
bro. I would have got some prints from him.
That's another big thing for New York Comic Con. If you know what to look for.
Vinny,
I didn't send you cosplay pics, but I figured you had enough to throw up.
What'd you say?
I didn't send you cosplay pics, but I figured you had enough to throw up.
Yeah, I'll go through them in a minute, but I want to go through some of your finds real quick.
Sure.
Some of the stuff that you actually found. I'm gonna pull those up so people can look at some of those prints. We got one bastard on this panel that just couldn't wait. So impatient.
All right, no,
we'll talk about that later.
All right, fine. Nope. But you're not gonna throw me under the bus because I had a valid reason.
Bastard could not wait. Anyway, let me pull this up here because these are some of the finds that Vinny had.
Stop lying,
very
man.
cool finds.
Right.
Like
I'm right up
right here
fucking Mother Teresa.
Was awesome.
That's right, Louis Lebit. Bruce Leroy was there. That was right. Fucking Bruce Leroy was there.
Yeah.
So this is
he's cool. I met him too, man. Bruce Leroy cool as hell.
He was dope. This is Ken Lashley Spawn. Ken Lashley was there. He was so happy they gave him a little table off to the side. He was chilling in the cut.
Awesome,
and he is always super swamped with commissions and fans. And he was happy this year that he wasn't really featured, and he got to have a more low-key laid back because he's always so hammered at these cons with commissions and stuff. And I actually got a chance to like talk to him for 5 minutes about how the con was going and everything like that. He's so cool. So he had a whole bunch of prints there. And
artwork is
had to get
Spawn is so dope.
This is Ryan Notley, artist from and one of these shows I would love to, maybe before season 2 drops, I'd love to have an episode where we go in on Invincible because
hell yeah,
it's one of the best stories that I've ever read, period. And that's saying a lot.
The Invincible cover art that's been coming out has been crazy lately.
Absolutely, just
man.
phenomenal. So I was telling him that like there was a bit where I was a little bit burnt out on books, and getting back into Invincible, like that was one of the books that re-energized. He was like, man, I've actually heard that from a few people, and that means the world. So he signed that. And when we're done with the prints, I'll show you. I picked up one of his con exclusive Invincible 39s that he signed for me, but I'll show you that afterwards. This is artist Vincenzo Riccardo, and he had a bunch of amazing work. And I had to have this one. That background, those colors, it just like dropped me. It dropped me in the face.
That's a dope picture.
Crazy. Yeah, this is an oversized print too. That's
I appreciate that. 17. That is beautiful.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
How big is that print, yo?
I have to measure. It's bigger than 11 by 17. I think it's it might be a 11 by 20 or something at least. It's huge. I was like,
it's almost oversized, and that shit is dope.
I was like, give me that. I need that.
Dude, he's got everything. There. He's got great color. He's got depth. He's got perspective. That's beautiful.
Yeah, his style is pretty amazing.
Just the way he's laying back, he's jumping through the air is dope. Man.
This is Belen Ortega. I'm probably butchering her name, but she's incredible. She's amazing. Huge fan of her work.
I love that.
She's dope.
Wow.
Nice.
Say it again.
A huge fan of her work. So
So how long were you sitting there having a conversation?
Man, I caught up with y'all eventually, didn't I?
Wait. So this is this the one time that Vinny slowed down?
Yeah, that's one of the times. That's one of the times where.
Yeah.
Vinny needed more perspective on the artwork that she was doing, huh?
Yeah, I had.
Ass.
I
had to inquire.
Okay,
I had to inquire.
Yo, hold up. What is how? is how he slid in this conversation. You know, I'm such a fan of her work. It was real subtle. That's why I had to stop. It's like, yeah, here we go. Let me move on to the next one, man. Yes.
This dude Lobo, man, he
wow.
does some insane stuff. Look up his stuff. His stuff is insane. This is Savage Land
That is
Rogue.
dope.
I picked up his War Machine. His X-23 is crazy. His style is super dynamic and energetic, and that's the style I'm always going for with like really smooth Copic type lines and stuff like that. He's amazing. He has some great color work too, but this one is just, I had to have this one. It was incredible. So he's and always chop it up with him when I see him at the shows too. And definitely check out his stuff. He's amazing. He has such a great style. I got a Voltron piece of his last year too. And this another fan. This was I forget her name. She was Anisha Lee. Yeah, she did a cool
anime style.
Cool Daredevil and Elektra Magna style. And she does a lot of superhero work in like a Magna style. Not quite as subtle as Momoko stuff, but like very like stylized. And she does like, you know, mashups of Magna style and her superhero work is really good. She has some awesome work too.
Did you hear about the shit that went down at Peach Momoko's booth?
After the fact, I didn't read about it till today. And
what happened?
Apparently, I think she had like whatchamacallit, like
there was like
down because she was like overwhelmed or something.
She had a what?
So there was a vendor that got in a fight with another, like just a fan in her line, arguing something about like why they would want one of her pieces or not or something like that. It just got, and then like the two like literally got into a fight, and then like security had to come and like and separate them, and it was like right in front of her booth, and like and it just like turned into a ruckus, and like and people got, and she just got like, because she's like this tiny little, like she got super overwhelmed. It's not like, you know, like if you ever meet her, like that, like that's not her kind of, you know. So she got super overwhelmed.
And she's just becoming, you know, a star. So she's really overwhelmed.
Like, exploded.
There was such a huge line for her, and she's relatively new to the industry and the game. And for some people,
just have a panic attack.
That's a lot to deal with, like that kind of pressure of so many people wanting your attention. It's
because that's probably the biggest con that she's done. Because you think about the timeline.
That was the first big con that she
because like she's blown up in the last 3 or 4 years, but like a good chunk of that she
probably wasn't quite ready for what was coming her way.
Yeah, I don't think she really had any frame of reference for what she was going to encounter at New York, and to have that happen right in front of her booth and stuff, she just you know, I mean, completely understandable. She just got overwhelmed by it, and I felt bad too, because it's like, you don't want an artist like that who's amazing to then be like, I don't want to go back next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she apologized to, you know, the fans, and everyone's like, you got nothing to apologize for.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's normal. It's normal reaction, and she was doing everything she could to like make the fans happy. But I don't think she was quite ready for kind of like maybe the ugly side of fame, I guess. But and also, no matter how famous you are, there's going to be drama, and sometimes when there's a lot of people. And anxiety and nerves and just,
and a vendor should know better. You shouldn't be getting in fights as
absolutely
a vendor
but some people, if they're not quite used to that kind of environment and she just obviously wasn't prepared to just let that roll off her back, which is maybe, I'm sure, something that she'll get used to, you know. But it was crazy. I mean, her table was just swamped. I barely got to see her stuff. She had so many people there. I was happy for her.
I mean, and think about it too. So many of her variants are like the 1 in 100 incentives. They're like the hot ones that everybody is trying to get. And she's staying busy. She's doing covers for everything.
This is Maria Wolf. This she's an up and coming artist, and she does some crazy, amazing detail. And she meant a lot to me, man, because she sat there and talked to me for a good 15 minutes about what to expect if I get a table and what I, and I asked her a bunch of questions and stuff like that. And she was working on a commission for death, and we were laughing about how the dude didn't even know that there was a comic book death. So she was like, which one? And we were talking about how, there being different versions of characters now as the world is changing. There's different things to consider as an artist as when it comes to doing fan art and shit like that. So there was a lot we talked about, and she gave me a lot of good tips and advice about what to expect doing bigger shows like these compared to more local and smaller shows. So she was super helpful, and her work is just insane as you could see. So Maria Wolf, give her a follow too. She's awesome. And then I think there's like two more.
Yep.
The incomparable Alex Maleev. I was so worried about this because he didn't have the best. He didn't have the best preparation. Like, he had a binder and his wife was there, and he hadn't shown up yet because he was stuck at the hotel trying to finish commissions. And he had originals and prints in the book, and his work looked so amazing that it was almost indistinguishable. And some of the stuff was prints and some of the stuff was originals. Yeah. And she wasn't sure if this one was one of the originals or not, or if it was a print that was available. Like most artists, that's really obvious based on the way their tables are set up. But so she was trying to call him and text him and say, like, what are you doing? Like, we need to know. He wants to get this. Is it available? Is it not? And he's like, I don't know. I don't want you to accidentally, sell him a print that's a original art. So, let me, get down there.
Like, that definitely shouldn't be $30. Like,
yeah. So I shot that. I was like, I'm gonna just double back, and I just finished down the aisle and came back, and he was there, and we talked for a few minutes. And
he and David Mack are two of my favorites. Like Alex Maleev, he just did a variant cover for Daredevil #3 with Elektra and Daredevil jumping. That's like phenomenal.
Yeah, he's incredible, and obviously I use a lot of watercolor with my stuff, and so I love his style. His style is just incredible. He's amazing.
I'm not usually a big Silver Surfer guy for prints, but that one is gorgeous.
I'm not sure if you could see the text on this, but this is Frank Cho, and he did like I love mixing comedy with my Inktober stuff. So his stuff is always hilarious because when he does remarks and commission covers, he always does some kind of like funny sexual innuendo stuff for women characters. And Scarlet Witch here as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher for Hogwarts, and everybody's like, blown away. And Ron's like, I love Hermione. Like, it's hilarious. And he was funny as hell too. I caught him in a rare moment, just like as I happened to be like coming up on his table, a group had cleared, and I got to talk with him for a little bit, and then another rush was coming. So some of this stuff is just timing, getting to talk to your favorite artists and stuff like that. So, so those are the prints I picked up. Lots of amazing stuff. I also got a Ryan Otley to sign a Battle Beast from Invincible 39, and he was so awesome. He was like, oh, this cover needs some red. We got to get some red in there for blood, and let me go ahead and grab that. And he was great. And the other big takeaway from this con was for a few years now, I've been gun shy to pulling a trigger on it. But this year, I finally pulled the trigger on one of my all-time sought-after keys, and I finally picked up John Size X-Men, and I finally got this book.
Shit.
So I've been dying to get this book. Yes, sir. That's why it's taking me so long to get it, because I'm like, I want a 6.5 or better, and I was going to get it a few years ago, and then I didn't, and then the pandemic hit, and it just went through the roof, and I was like, oh shit, when am I ever going to get it now? And it's starting to come back down to earth. Thank you, man. And I was like, it's starting to come back down to earth, and then go up a little bit, and then it's kind of like leveling out.
It's gonna go up again very soon.
Exactly. But from the research I've done, and like, it's one of the books that it's one of the most sought after keys for a reason. It's very stable. It's because there's so few prints, copies out there. So it's not a book that's gonna like shoot up and shoot down and just plummet or anything like that. It'll always be one of the most sought after books ever. So this was one I've been searching for in my collection for all. This is one of those up there with the Hulk 181s and all those. This is one of the books that everybody always going to be in high demand. So I finally had to pull the trigger and grab this one.
And you get a good deal on it?
I did get a good deal. Like we talked about many times on the show. I did like talk to the guy. The guys were real cool, and I spent all of Friday and Saturday just researching booths and every single person who had one in that grade area range. Talk to them, and then
see who would be working with you.
See who would be working with me. See who would do what, and then and the price wasn't super far off from like eBay and stuff like that, but I'm at the con, and unless I'm paying like way more where it's going to be ripped off, I wanted to get it there. So it's the story, like I always remember where I was when I got it. I wasn't just, paying it such a huge amount of money and then just hoping that someone on eBay that
you're going to remember NYCC.
I'm going to remember NYCC 2022. I'm going to remember the dealer. We're going to have a joke every time because they were setting up like I talked to the dude on Saturday night and I was like, all right, I think I'm going to do it. Let me sleep on it. And then I'm gonna pull the trigger in the morning. And he goes, all right.
You did on the last day of the con.
Yeah, because he you know how they go. They probably didn't believe me. And I show up in the morning, they're setting up, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then they all just like tell me their stories about the first time they picked up their Giant Size X-Men 1 and like when did they get it and what they got it for and and different things. And they're all older and some of them are younger. And everybody has like a story of, with big books. Like some of them got it when it came out. Some of them got it, 10 years ago. Some of them got it right before the pandemic, when it was, not so crazy. It's like, it's one of those, things where sometimes you get books and they have a story that comes with it. So that's part of collecting. That's part of the fun of it. That's part of why we go to the cons. So to say that going to a con is like boring, you're there for the wrong reason. Because I could give a shit.
There for the wrong reason.
Because I could give a shit if they
because
drop
the thing is, you gotta also keep
of any collection.
Yeah.
I could give a shit if they released some trailer that weekend or if I met, Chris Evans that day. It's like, that's
this
not
was
what
the
I go
time
to
to do it. This was the time to do it because I guarantee you that book, as soon as they start rolling out some announcements about X-Men, as soon as they start getting trailers,
it's going to shoot up.
That because especially in that grade, because the low to mid grades, those prices are because they're more attainable to people right now. People are going to start fucking firing those up. That's going to double. I guarantee you in the next 2 years, that book right there will cost double what you paid for it this weekend.
Because there's not many books above 8 even on the market at all. So it's so that's one of the higher. It's like you said, it's one of the ones that are higher grade but attainable. So it's not a book that you're gonna expect that you're gonna go get a 9 or a 10. That's a high. For what it is, that's a high grade. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's definitely one that I've been wanting for a very, very long time. So I couldn't wait for the con this year because I was just like, this is the year I'm gonna get it. I've been looking forward to it all year.
You know what? And here's one of the biggest things that people have to kind of realize too, real quick. Again, you want something that's tangible. If you're going basically for 6-scale collecting statues and stuff like that, half the time
you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
You're setting up. Definitely. Like cons, it's about the experience, about actually sharing ideas, talking to someone like the artists, the writers who inspired some of the things that we've actually followed for years. So to not, be able to experience those things, man. Come on, put it in the con for a reason.
To put it in perspective, that book that Vinny just got, Giant Size X-Men #1, all right. There are about 11,000 of those graded on the CGC census, okay? But only a couple thousand higher than the one that he got. Even though that's mid, like 6.5 is considered like a mid or upper mid grade for that book. There are only a couple thousand out of 11,000 that are graded higher than his. And if you get up to a 9.8, the fair market value on a 9.8 right now is $33,000.
Right.
So that's gonna $33,000 for a comic book that's gonna go up once we get the X-Men in the MCU. But again, a lot of people can't just drop $33,000. But when you're looking at like the 6.5 or lower grades, that's what people are more inclined to get, right? But those ones are the ones that are going to be unattainable for a lot of people in a year and a half, 2 years, because those prices are going to shoot up. Now is the time to get a book like that. Absolutely. And like Vinny said, he took forever. He'd been wanting to get it forever, but he finally pulled the trigger, and he probably got the best deal that he could have right now. Because if he got it a couple of years ago, I think it was more expensive back then. Right now, he pulled the trigger on a Grail piece that he wanted. and he's going to remember that forever at NYCC 2022.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole thing is all about. And when
Definitely.
you do something like that, man, you fucking remember it, and it feels good.
Definitely.
It feels
It
good.
definitely
bro.
does. It does.
Yeah,
Real quick.
It's like my heart was racing. It was such a fucking awesome thing because it's just like, fucking finally.
Congrats to you, man.
You're like palms are sweaty. You're like,
Yeah.
shit, I gotta put it in a bag. I can't
fucking do it. Yeah, I barely even wanted to touch it. I was gonna say, here, put it in a bag for me. Like I don't want to, you know.
You want to put it in a briefcase with like the chain around your hands, just like
real quick.
With the handcuff.
So I wanted to go through a few, like I said, I mean, I want to show a few because we're showing off some of the pieces that we got. I only wanted to show a few, some of the ones that were really important.
Well, no, I like that shirt.
Oh yeah, this is again.
There we go.
Yeah, you already know what it is. Spider-Man 2099, man, definitely.
That's awesome.
I took it to the con, but I didn't get a chance to basically wear it. It was just too cold, but it was like one of my favorite pieces. But I'm gonna start with one of my favorites here, and this is basically from if you already know, really know his work, but Ben Harvey, he has some incredible work out there, and his interpretations are incredible. This was one of them. Now, if you look at this, you have the armor.
I knew you were gonna. Yeah,
now,
I knew her.
If you see this, right? But look what he did. Like, and he basically what I loved about this is the simple fact that when he explained it to me with Prime, bro. So basically, what he told me was this wasn't an original idea from him. This was a commission that he did from an idea given to him by a customer, and it made perfectly good sense. So definitely, this piece is incredible. Had to pick that up. I mean, just with the
I knew you were going to get a print with her at some point.
Hell yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be her with Optimus.
Yeah, with Optimus Prime, bro. The way he
I know you love her.
did it. Ben Harvey is incredible, man. He's so incredible. Like,
did you see his Magneto there?
Bro, so I saw that one. He did also was no name. He did this piece. This was basically phenomenal. I love this. I could not take my eyes off of it. I had to grab that piece.
Cool.
So it's definitely phenomenal.
Awesome.
For those who don't go to a lot of cons, let me tell you how big a deal it is to get 2 prints from the same artist when there's thousands and thousands of stuff that is calling your name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do that
and,
a lot.
Okay, so then, because I had to go to his booth, not only because a certain MFer on here wanted some pieces from him and couldn't wait, but also because I wanted to get some pieces from him as well. One of the ones, so one, of course, couldn't pass this one up. This is Echo. So this piece that basically he did, this is David Mack, always, all day, every day. This piece,
the fucking man.
He is the dude. He is that guy, and it is amazing. This print,
you gotta frame that like ASAP.
Yeah, this print was phenomenal, bro. But the one, my golden ticket, because I love her, bro. I love me some Wonder Woman. But motherfucking David Mack, bro. Yeah, fucking David Mack, bro. This piece right here is phenomenal. I saw it. I was like, I got to have it, bro. I gotta have it.
That is fire.
Bro, this piece is lovely. Like literally framework on that, the interpretation, everything. I just loved it. And I love his eye. And the thing is, the dope part about David Mack, bro, is he is so humble. He's one of the most
cool dude to talk to.
He's a cool dude to sit down and have a conversation with. He will talk.
Man.
He is. He's such a good guy. Another person I wanted to bring up too. I mean, these cats, you see them and they get that. I'm bringing this up because he's my guy. And I told him I would actually bring it up. And this is for Star Wars, any type of Star Wars fans on the panel. It's my guy over there. It's basically it's the 13th floor. If you don't already know him, I'll show you. This is their bag. You can actually see him. If you haven't gotten their work, I go straight to him to strictly get his pieces. He's a phenomenal artist.
Okay.
And his interpretation with a lot of Star Wars pieces. Like he took this, and it's a lot of World War III mashups. If you see what he actually did that with the TIE fighter, that was phenomenal. So that's a phenomenal piece that I got from him. Another one was this particular version right here. Like that's an incredible piece,
that's
bro.
The one that caught me. Yeah,
that's definitely an incredible piece right there. And then you get that, and I love, bro. His mashups are incredible.
That's fire.
I got that piece, and then it was this particular piece right here. Oh
my god!
And then them fighting a Rancor, that was incredible.
What?
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Like his work is impeccable, bro. This piece right here. You have the Scout
PTSD.
Walker.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And then you basically have this piece right here. Like I wanted to give him shine because they did
Oh,
him
my
dirty
God.
at the con, whereas they didn't tell him he got there. His publicist was trying to find out where his table was. Like they didn't actually tell him where his table was. They end up putting him way in the back, which usually he's in the front. They put him way in the back in the corner where he could not be seen, bro. Like
Oh,
literally.
they screwed him over then. Yeah, they screwed him over.
They fucked him over.
Yeah.
There's not really too many bad tables in the con, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as featured as he usually is. Put like that.
But to be in the back though, bro. Mm-mm.
Let me see what else.
With work like that, that's messed up, man.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely worked. It's messed up. Let me see what else. Oh yeah. So
Leo.
yo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
Oh my God. That's from the same dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have some of the same ones that.
Yep.
I
Yes,
had to
that was
pick
great.
up this original Linda Carter piece. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna bring this up real quick. It's an
Wow.
original Linda Carter. I had to actually make sure I got that. But then also she gave me this piece as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from Prey.
Oh,
yo,
nice.
It's all from the same guy?
It's not from the same guy. This is from, I think her name was, what was her name? I think Gloria or something like that. Again, she's like the thing is, I like getting a lot of stuff from like independent artists, up and rising, up and coming, and they do some phenomenal pieces. So I found these pieces from him, and like I said, this motherfucker right here was incredible. I was like, yeah, I definitely got to get. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you go to get some of the prints, you make sure you get the artwork.
Posters, yeah.
On top of that, let me pull this up real quick. I want to kind of go through some of them. If you haven't seen these pieces, I gotta pull these up to you now. If y'all haven't really been following Vinny's work as far as like Inktober, make sure you do. Because there's some phenomenal pieces out there that's right now. I wanted to pull this up. I was going to pull something else up, but I saw this, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely worth talking about. This is the one he did, Day 9. One of my favorite pieces. You know, this is Nest, of course.
That is dope.
Basically featured. It's incredible, bro. I think what was the most?
He posted one today.
Yeah,
that
right
one.
here, bro. Right here. I mean, if you're not watching, you know, House of Dragons, you know, definitely this piece right here.
That's dope.
Yeah, Krabby. So of course,
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I mean,
Inktober has been phenomenal. But I want to actually show people some of, you know, pretty much what we saw, you know, at the con when it comes to like a lot of cosplay, because there were some phenomenal things. Now here's a picture of me and Lou. This is Loco Lou, in case y'all don't know. Loco Lou.
There he is.
Yeah.
Loco Lou was so mad, bro. Them sneakers hurting you, dog.
Nah, I wasn't really mad, bro. I was just laughing. That's just my serious face when I'm trying to, you know, not to smile. You know, and this is me with, of course, you know, the man himself, David. You know, he's such a cool guy. He's definitely down to earth. I tried to call this motherfucker to get him on the phone.
I was filming because he texted me that
excuse.
same picture.
Yeah, no excuse.
He texted me, but there was no reception where I was filming, and I got it after.
So this is basically,
I saw that.
This one
she
right
killed
here.
That.
Yeah, she nailed it, bro. This was like she was there like 4 years ago.
That thing?
She stayed in a long time, bro.
Yeah,
she was there like 4 years ago.
These type of people usually show up, and then
she's on stilts. Yeah.
Typically, they'll come and they'll show up and they'll do that, and then they'll go like put it back wherever they have it. Like they're not usually walking shopping like this. Usually with the bigger costumes like this,
man.
Right?
Because there's areas of the floor that a lot of the cosplayers who have something like huge and crazy can go to and not be in the way. Like you're not walking down, you know, the aisles when people are trying to shop for comics in that thing.
Yeah, and these are some of the cosplayers that were actually there. Of course, I got the.
Of course, you're gonna go for Fennec.
That's a good one.
I had to find Fennec.
That's a good
This
one.
Black Panther and this Storm,
Storm.
where they killed that.
Not gonna lie, there's local. Not gonna lie though, my favorite one was Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah,
The
Ace Ventura all
come
day.
on.
That's cool.
Yeah. This Loco Lou. This right here, bro. She killed.
Akasha. Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She killed that, bro. She
Yeah,
really
man,
did.
that's a
Toya
good
took a
one.
picture with this right here, Scarlet Scarab. I had to actually take
That's
that,
dope.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she definitely nailed that. Then we have Wanda.
Man,
Let me see here. Toya took a picture with like
that's a dope one.
Yeah, it's a dope Boba. It was a whole bunch of Boba and Mandos there, like the entire.
Yeah, there was a
time.
good. You had a good one with a Mando and an armorer.
Yeah,
They were impressive. They looked great.
yeah. There's a lot of them here. Let me see. I think so. We got that one out the way, and then let me see here. Let me see this one right here. This guy, he killed it as
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, bro. He killed that.
That's a good one.
These two were incredible.
I like
But
that.
this one right here, bro.
Mojo,
Whoa,
I
wait,
saw
wait.
that. I was like, no,
Bro.
There's
he
somebody
didn't do
in there?
that.
Yes, he did.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he did. Mojo, bro.
I
He
liked the
killed
Doctor
that.
Strange levitating one, but then I
Yeah.
saw this. I was like, no, Mojo, man, Mojo.
Yo,
Yeah.
bro. He killed this. It was
He's
phenomenal.
going upstairs too.
Yeah, that Mojo one is raw, man.
That Mojo.
You know,
was
one of my
decent.
favorite cosplayers was there too. Allison Tabitha.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Martin
Dude, her
Luigi.
cosplay is insane.
Yo,
Here
they
we
had some dude.
Ace
The Ace
Ventura,
Ventura
it was
is raw.
so good.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
she killed.
Yo, it was
and
some
she
cat-
was in character.
She
the
took a picture
entire
with
time.
Toya too, right? Like,
She was-
oh
yup.
god, I laughed so hard
She was in
man, that's a
character
good
the
one, man.
entire time, bro. It was so dope. It
because
was
she
so
did the
dope.
voice.
Yeah, Toya saw her first. She saw her
Yeah,
first, and then we took pictures with her. It
Oh
was
man, that's a
incredible.
good one, bro.
Yeah, she was dope. She
Yeah, I
was so
love that.
dope, bro.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Then we had
Dude,
Batman and
that-
Predator.
Oh shit.
Oh, Predator and
Yeah.
Batman.
We found them.
Yo, somebody had
They-
on. They had it, the pictures up. A dude had a whole like Apocalypse cosplay on.
Yep.
Did y'all
I
see
saw
that one?
I didn't see.
That
Vinny
was-
probably saw it.
You know, it's so much
That one
easier
looked
to do
amazing.
like big involved cosplay
Yeah.
in New York than it is in San Diego. Because in San Diego, it's like
Mm.
100 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
killed
true. Yeah, yeah.
Day Spider-Man Noir. I like it. I like
it.
it.
Yeah.
And Noir is fire, yeah. Is that Wonder Man? And that's the Mag and Spider-Man and Robin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder
You don't
Man.
see that much.
League of Their Own. If you know,
League
you
of Their
know.
Own, yeah.
League of Their Own. Good movie.
I still got to check out. They
Sand people.
did a TV show on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's on now. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it.
You know, she pulled off. She did
She killed that.
Yeah, she
That's
definitely.
when
killed
you're,
That's over
you're
from,
cool enough to wear sunglasses indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
That's
Look
nice.
at that.
Nice, bro.
That's cool.
And Blank Man,
Get your
bro.
kids in there. That's good.
Blank
Blank
Man
Man.
had to find Blank Man.
Oh, like
That's cute with the shield.
wait. So yeah, there was
I
Blank
like
Man.
it.
Was no handyman?
No, we didn't
No
see
handyman.
No
It
handyman.
was just Blank
Nah, no
Man.
handyman.
No, we
That's
Meteor
didn't.
dude with the
Man?
armor.
No
That's
Meteor Man?
all.
This right here was so dope, bro. She killed this, bro. You just and then after I left,
Wow.
so she was so when you take a picture, she hands you out an eye. So she was handing out everybody like little eyes.
Did she whoop some ass while she was there? Just
Nah,
like
she looked like she could have though. This should have me dying.
I still
bro.
have to watch that movie, man. I'm mad I didn't watch that yet.
This dude had me dying because I was like,
that's
yo,
awesome.
I was like, yo, why are
I'm
you
not
wearing
there,
this?
though.
He's like, bro, you don't know how many bodegas I've been to when people keep calling me Matt Murdock, bro. So I'm just trying to tell people I am not. Yo, that shit was so fucking funny.
Even funnier
that's
because
cool.
Java Center is technically like it's right in Hell's Kitchen.
That shirt is
Yeah.
super popular. That's all over. So that's like
This
a
was
popular
awesome.
cosplay now.
Well,
Let me
he
tell you
actually
how much
played.
I
He had the
wish that
speaker playing.
let me tell you how much I wish that
Was he really
I
playing?
sold yeah, he was. He really was playing. Let me tell you how
Yeah.
much I wish I sold
Wow.
Hellfire Club T-shirts because there must have been 100 people
Yes.
that I seen with Hellfire Club T-shirts. They were fucking everywhere.
Oh, I knew
That's
that
gonna be
was
a popular
be
shirt for a
and it was
minute.
going to be a hot cosplay too of Eddie. Like I knew that was going to be a thing.
They killed it, and that's the family environment. Bro.
I like that.
The family
Yeah, I like
environment,
that.
incredible. They killed this, bro. These cats,
Yeah.
the whole
that's
family
awesome.
killed that, bro. They killed it.
Whoa.
Dope.
Average Joe.
Yeah.
That's funny.
America Chavez.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Captain Carter.
Nice.
Captain Carter.
Yo.
Got the heels on though.
I love the dude as Catwoman behind him looks so confused though. Like he doesn't know what he's looking at.
Yeah.
We got John Belushi
Blues
behind him,
Brothers,
bro.
I
The
like
Blues
it.
Brothers, bro.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Incredible, bro. Hell yeah, this shit was incredible. Let me see what else we got here. Got a few more here.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was just to see their family
That's
environment was just so incredible, bro.
Yeah.
You know, they
That's
were just
dope.
awesome. Yeah, that was awesome, bro. This right here was awesome. They killed that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
She was dope. She
Nice.
was dope.
Nice.
Nice. I'm not Daredevil. Everybody.
I'm telling you that.
Yo, the funniest
I'm
part
not
about the I'm not
Daredevil.
the chick with the I'm not Daredevil took a picture of us on the stairs, and then Leo was like, "Wait, do you got on an I'm not Daredevil shirt too?" And then we took her picture.
Yeah, we just had to take her picture, bro. It was incredible. But I mean, that's what it was all about, bro. It was just so much fun. We had Kano here.
Kano
We
was
had
hype.
that. A
Nice.
Loki
cool, man.
Mandalorian.
Man, that's a nice mashup.
They killed it. This was dope.
That motherfucker was doing handstands.
And bro,
Wow,
He had-
bro. That's
we had
dope.
brother Kal-El, bro.
That is awesome.
Okay.
We spent
Okay.
5 minutes. We spent 5 minutes coming up with a show around centered around
Around
all
him.
the shit we would do with him.
Oh,
And
Brother Kal-El.
Yeah. Brother Kal-El.
Brother Kal-El.
That is
Yo, I ain't
awesome.
gonna-
we wrote
He's
a
like,
whole show around
now. Instead of calling her Lois, he'd be like, now Louise. I ain't gonna keep trying to say
Louise.
You ain't gonna
That's dope.
That's-
I like that.
Might as well just say Wheezy at that point.
Yeah, you know. She
Wheezy.
killed it. Yo,
Like
all right.
Adam.
So
This
Y'all
one,
know
no,
what this is?
that was good. I saw the video.
No.
I
you
saw the
don't know
video.
what this is yet, bro?
Bro, I filmed this thing walking towards me
What?
for 3 minutes as everybody around us was trying to figure out what it was, and then when we realized,
What
we
is
were all
that?
bugging.
You don't
Yeah,
know
there
what
was
it is?
the video of somebody walked up and was like, "What are you? What are you?"
You don't know what it
Must
is
be
yet?
COVID or something.
No. So
I don't know.
tell me you.
I'm
so-
guessing.
Okay. So
Like
did you go see Nope?
Oh no, not yet. I haven't.
You didn't see Nope?
I can watch it here tonight. No.
So okay. So when you see Nope, you'll know exactly what this is.
Yep.
When you see
all
it.
right.
Wolverine,
That's a good one. That's a good
And
one.
then we had Rogue.
Nice.
Any more? Let me see here. I think there's a few more. She was
Nice.
killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. Oh god, the clown stuff makes me nervous. That's dope.
Yeah. He was dope.
Nice.
He was definitely dope. Mysterio.
Wow.
That poor
Wow, that's a
Mysterio,
good one.
he couldn't see, bro. And then he had a friend with him, like guiding him. All right, and he would turn his buddy this way for other pictures. People who wanted pictures, it was hilarious. He had to take
That's
it off so you
cool.
can see the thing.
Yeah, because he couldn't actually see. But now, I mean, all in all, man, like the con experience for everybody. Look, you don't go just because you want to actually see. Again, if you're a collector, put it this way. It's comic book talk with friends. So of course, over here we're going to talk about comics. Not once, unless the only time that we'll hear us talking about 1/6 scale figures is if it relates to the topic of what we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
So again, if you're going to Comic-Con for statue, and there's nothing wrong with that because there's a lot of people that go, for collectibles, pop, Funko Pops goes off every year.
Yep.
You got to have a day. Like they went off this year. They had a whole haunted house display there, bro. That whole haunted house display.
Wow. What Funko Pops?
Yeah.
Damn.
A whole haunted house display. They go
I'm
off.
telling you right now, Jason, plan for it. Because I told I told Latoya earlier today. I was like, I went into my calendar and I blocked off the whole week next year of New York City because I had 2 bookings this weekend that I couldn't get out of, so I couldn't go this year. I blocked off the whole week next year. No client work. I'm planning on going, so I'm gonna be there. So Jason, you're gonna have to be there. So we'll have all 4 of us there, and then
yeah.
everybody else, Lumi and Lou and and
That's cool.
Lewis,
Be on
short all the
dipset
L's,
duty.
but
Go ahead,
like,
do what you got to do.
It's time for me to go back,
everybody's
bro, because I've been there since 2018, 2019. I think was the last time I was there. So it's been a minute for me.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah,
and we'll
it's
do.
time for me to
And
go back.
Latoya was like, "Oh, we're gonna do like an organized meetup next time." I'm like, "I'm down for it. I'm in 100%. I'm there. I will be there next year." So we'll get everybody there, and we'll do a good meetup.
Yeah, and
I wear my
definitely
Air
walk
Maxes, so I already
all
know
the
what
way
time
down
it
to
is.
the pizza shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Have him walk you the
Got
whole way.
I'm
We'll
with
all
it.
chip in, and we'll chip in, and we'll rent a scooter for Lael.
A
Hey,
scooter,
man.
yeah.
Segue.
With that motorized scooter with
If
the
y'all want
horn.
to spend your money, go right ahead. I ain't gonna turn the good thing down. Straight up. I ain't gonna definitely turn a good thing down. I'm all in for that. So if you don't want to do it, still I'm gonna move on really quick here because, like I said, it's a lot to cover. We knew we had a lot to cover tonight, but I want to move on to this next topic, man, because this right here, boy, like if you haven't seen it, maybe you don't want to be in this panel, but if you have seen it, then this is where you want to actually be and have this discussion because it was simply incredible. And we're gonna talk about Werewolf by Night.
Oh man.
They talk about, and I heard a lot of people say that this wasn't something that was on their radar, but I'm gonna tell you, it was on mine. It was definitely on my radar.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
I just didn't know how good it was going to be. Like I really didn't know how it was going to be. And the thing is, for how short it was still entertaining.
I enjoyed it, man.
Bro. The chemistry between him, oh my God, like it was incredible. We got a chance to see a character that we never thought we would actually see in live action. Yeah, what I mean, to see that character in live action was incredible. Vinny, because you're so fresh off of it, I'm gonna start with you, bro. What was your take and interpretation on this, man?
Well, I mean, I have Horathon it here every year, so obviously I'm a huge horror fan, and like I said, this was something right up my alley as far as horror goes, and you know, Werewolf by Night is obviously it's kind of only the most famous for, you know, that was the introduction to Moon Knight, but the comic is so old that I think even a lot of comic heads might not really have read much of it. There's a lot of us who never really got into the horror comics, which were so huge back in the day, long before we were even thought of, or our parents were even thought of. But you know, Universal Monsters and the whole monster subcategory of Marvel in you know, pop culture is very untouched in modern day times. So there's not much content on that is kind of relevant of late. So seeing them like super dive in like this and saying that there's this whole basically society of monster hunters and demons and monsters that, you know, have been hunted and, you know, amongst us for, you know, all this time. It's kind of like as bold as them just jumping in and saying mutants have been here this whole time, and instead of pussyfooting around and just saying, oh, like, you know, we don't need to like go at this huge, you know, big explanation of here's the first monster and then building around that. Like, nah, it was just here the whole time, but you know, you were shielded from it. You didn't know nothing about it. And I love that approach because it saved them so much time. It didn't have to hold your hand and fucking, you know, sit you down and explain this monsters to you like you're 5 and you never heard of them. So I love that they jumped right into it. I loved the balls to do this in black and white. I'm such a huge fan of black and white and noir versions of films. I'm such a cinema buff, so it's so cool to me. I love the graininess. I love the you know, the real burns in the corner that would pop up here and there. It's all these great little touches like that. I like the premise. Some of the acting was a little cheesy and over the top, and I'm sure that was exactly the fucking point, because if you watch those old movies, sometimes it was like really cool, and then there'll be a character that's just like grown like this. All right, you know, but that's kind of like an homage in a way. I thought the I forget the actress's character's name. It was what was her name in it? I don't know. The main woman in it. I forget her name. Anyway, she
played the dude's daughter.
Bloodstone.
Yeah, the chick who played
Elsa Bloodstone.
Vanessa Bloodstone. Yeah, Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah, Laura Donnelly played Elsa Bloodstone.
She had some of the the Black Widow and her movies Invulnerability, getting her head bounced off of concrete and not without a scratch. So that was a little weird, but other than that, part of it and some other, a little bit campy parts, it was just phenomenal. And I love the characters. I love the the very quick and subtle like world building of it. And Werewolf was incredible. And I mean, everybody had to have loved the Man Thing. It was just incredible. I mean, I love that they didn't shy away from it and just show you teases of his eyes or his face and then not really pull the trigger. They went right to full body, like right away. And it must, I don't know, it looked practical. I mean, that's how good it looked. It looked like it was all somebody in the suit. I mean, I don't know how much, I don't know how they did it. I didn't really like look into it. It looked like the whole thing was practical. That's how great it looked. So if any of it was CGI, then bravo, because it looked fucking incredible.
Man, it's awesome.
I could, I mean, it was just insane, and I loved how they handled it. It was just so good, terrifying, and interesting, and incredible all at once. What the hell? Like this is going to be a sleeper hit. A lot of people are going to be, Marvel is, man, really going out of the way to just give everybody something. They're trying to check every genre box there is, and this having horror is something that we thought we would see more of, like Doctor Strange, and they kind of did, but definitely did here. So this was phenomenal. I was definitely happy with it. I don't know if this is a one and done or are they going to do anything more with it or what, but hopefully everybody watches the shit out of it and makes them want to do something else.
I think, and that's the thing. I'm hoping that they do, because there's so much risk, especially with Eliza Bloodstone, and where we could see her next.
I hope they don't do a series. I want them to keep doing like little mini movies like this.
Yeah. I
think Elsa Bloodstone. I think absolutely they're going to use her, but I think she's going to show up eventually on
maybe in a Blade movie.
I think she's going to show up. In the mix with Dane Whitman as Black Knight, in the mix with Blade, in the mix with our eventual Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange. I think that's when we're going to, now that the supernatural corner of the MCU is about to start taking off, I think that's what we're going to see, and we'll definitely see her again. She's too good of a talent for them to do a one and done on a special.
Yeah, definitely. She played it, to a T. And there's so much history behind. She did. She killed the part. But the thing about it, before I pass it over to you, Jason, real quick, and then we'll go to Brendan. The thing about it was the pacing of it was great. The pacing, you were it was so good that you were thoroughly, and I like the simple fact that it gave you that cheesy, not over the top, but it was the cheesy dialogue, but it was just to give you, it just reminded you of those films from the 40s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? It was just all the black and whites that we actually saw, the horror films that we saw back then. It just puts you in that same frame. You know what I mean? That mind frame. And I loved it, but just and the choreography on this show was dope.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal,
amazing.
I couldn't believe it. Jason, what did you think about it, bro?
You know what? It reminded me of those old school Vincent Price noir movies from back in the day. They used to come on Friday night, Saturday night, little horror flicks used to come on. Man, the like I said, the cheesy open with some heroes are in the light, and then but other heroes are in the dark. Like, oh my god, like that whole intro, the whole noir feel, the whole old school horror, over the top. It was just, I loved it, man. I loved it. There was so many Easter eggs in this movie, in this little special presentation. They had a bunch of Easter eggs, a bunch of callbacks to like the old school Wolfman with the Jack Hallett tombstone. I'm like, yo, this shout out the old Werewolf. Like that was awesome, man. Like I really, really, really loved this little short presentation. They need to do more like this, man. I watched it like 3 times already. It would make
so much sense if they did, bro. Honestly, it would make so much sense. Short features, it doesn't have to be. But here's the thing. When I say short features done right. That's what I mean.
Done right.
Not just for the sake of. It just has to be short features that are done right. That if they pull them off the right way, there's no way but up. You can just tell that it would be just phenomenal, man.
And if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have had Man Thing at all. There's nowhere else he would have fit in the MCU anywhere. Like this is.
I mean, did you ever think we were going to see Man Thing in the MCU in live action?
Never.
And we just did. It's great.
Yeah. This is the ultimate like fan service, to those fans that love, the horror side of Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Like the Midnight Sun stuff, the Blade stuff, the vampire stuff. It reminded me of the old school like Nosferatu black and white noir film back in the day. Dude, this was
especially Nosferatu,
awesome.
Bro.
Bro. Nosferatu, like this was just an awesome like. I hope they keep this going, man. I hope no people watched it for them to say, okay, well, we can do this again. And I wanted Blade in it so bad. I thought Blade would show up because he's a hunter too. I thought he would show up, but whatever.
Everybody, and that's the thing. It was crazy because everybody was. I saw messages everywhere. It was like, "Yo, was that Jessica Jones?" It's like, no, it's not. Jessica Jones. They look alike. They definitely look alike.
They do look
but
alike.
It wasn't Jessica Jones.
They've got a similar look and even a similar kind of attitude in this too. That you can definitely recognize the Jessica Jones kind of parallels there.
Yeah,
the stepmom was a total ass. Jesus Christ.
She played it perfectly. She was meant to be. She was meant to be the over-the-top campy part. Exactly. Like that was like
the role that
was written for her, and she played it to a T. She knew exactly what she was. The rest of it was going to be kind of grounded around her, but she was going to be that over-the-top element that that made it feel like those old school movies and stuff, and it worked beautifully.
Yeah, she definitely killed it. But
Brendan, what did you think about it? Bro?
Okay, go ahead, Jason.
When she opened it. When they opened the casket and old boy was
the animatronic, like
a puppet,
it wasn't clear if it was a spell or if it was just to talk to them or what, and like it didn't matter. You could make up your own explanation in your head.
Bro, that was I've never seen that done before in the film. That was awesome. I love this movie, man. This little thing was good.
Yeah, it definitely was. Brendan, what did you think about it, man?
I absolutely loved this, man. And my wife loved it. She went nuts, and she loves Halloween is one of her favorite times. Like she loves creepy movies and shows. And this, she was enthralled with this. She loved it. And from top to bottom, I mean, the cinematography in this is gorgeous. It perfectly blends modern cinematography with that feel and that vibe of what these movies actually looked and felt like back in the 40s and 50s. Shooting something for people who aren't that familiar with cinematography and photography, you don't just shoot something and then just take all the color out and change it to black and white. You have to plan for how you're going to shoot this, and you have to light everything accordingly. Okay. Because different colors will come across, even in black and white, as different shades, right? And you need to make sure that you have your contrast set perfectly. Notice when at the end, when it kind of goes back to Technicolor, okay?
That was awesome.
Most people, I guarantee you, most people did not know that Elsa's jacket was a red leather. Most people probably thought it was a dark brown or black. And then it's shit, that's right. She was also wearing very, very vibrantly colored lipstick, right? Very, very red.
That's her in the comics, though,
so that it looked that kind of black, right? When they were in black and white. You have to meticulously plan wardrobe, makeup, lighting, so that it's not just that it looks the way it's supposed to in color, but that it looks the way they want it to in black, having the right contrast ratios, having things lit the right way when they want it to. Like when the shock stick is down on the ground next to the werewolf and it's going off and illuminating him in flashes, right? That shit is not easy. You have to plan all of that. The way they did this, and I guarantee you that the budget for this hour-long special was probably around the same amount that they had for the budget for the She-Hulk series.
Damn.
But again, it's about dollars per minute, and it was put into an hour instead of like 3 hours or so, 3-4 hours over the course of half-hour episodes, right? And you see the result. Not only that, you look at this. I put this in the same category that I put WandaVision and the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and even Ant-Man to a certain extent, right? This is something that we never, as old school comic book fans, expected that we would actually get. We never thought we'd get Man-Thing in live action, which they nailed like beautifully. We never thought we'd get Werewolf by Night. We never thought they'd do it in black and white, right?
Yeah.
Most people did not think they would go as violent as they did in this, being Disney Plus, right? All those things they did. But this is something we like. WandaVision was something that hadn't really been done before, the way they made that show. They hadn't done a heist movie in the MCU until Ant-Man, and they showed that could work right alongside Iron Man and Cap and stuff like that. They hadn't done, like, you look at,
I gotta draw his ass.
All intents and purposes,
awesome,
Guardians of the Galaxy should not have worked as a Marvel film, but it did, right? They pushed the envelope and they did something that nobody expected with characters that nobody expected and most people didn't even know about. And they made a massive success with it, right? So that's what this is. People who love Man-Thing, who love Werewolf by Night, who love Elsa Bloodstone, did not expect that they were going to pull this off the way they did. And then other people were like, what the hell is this? We don't know this. This is weird. We don't know these characters. And then they watch it and they're like, oh my God, this thing was brilliant. You bring in Michael Giacchino. This is he has literally only directed 2 shorts before. He did a Star Trek one and then he did one before that, right? He is a composer. He did the scores for Rogue One. He did the scores for like some of the Jurassic World movies. He did the scores for we won't say Thor: Love and Thunder, but he did the scores for like the Spider-Man movies. He is a well-known and accomplished composer for films. And Marvel was like, we're going to let you direct this because you've got a really good vision for this and we're going to give you a shot. And it was fucking brilliant. And Marvel is taking chances, and when they do that, more often than not, it pays off. And I think this one paid off so beautifully well. The cinematography, the direction, the story, the acting, everything was exactly what it needed to be. None of it was accidental. None of it was unintentional, right? The cheesy, campy parts, it's not because it was done badly. It's because that's what they wanted in that moment, and it worked, right? Because they had a vision and they went straight at it. This thing and Man-Thing looked great in black and white and in color. And I love the fact that we got to see both. I love the fact that we got to see both. Gael Garcia Bernal, as Jack Russell, he was awesome. You felt for the guy, right? Like you felt for when he was in that cage with Elsa that he really didn't want to hurt her, right? There was so much that was good about
the decision to stay on her when he was changing and just have her scream was so nice.
That was done.
That was Kubrick.
Old school, bro.
That was
Kubrick-esque.
The great thing about that too, because I follow the cinematographer from this show on Instagram. That was all done practically, right? That wasn't like then they're gonna CG like the shadow of like the monster for that was all done as the camera is moving in one steady slow motion, right, toward her, and then they got the lights perfectly. They lit this so that when that flash goes off and it's the actual guy, all right, moving like that, who's doing all the motions at the key moments. So when it flashes, he's in the different stages of that, right? They planned that out so amazingly. That was my favorite shot of the entire show.
Me too.
Entire show.
Me too.
It was
that
so
was
brilliant.
awesome.
And again, when you stop to think about the cinematography and what went into making this thing, this is unequivocally art. This is just so phenomenal. They absolutely killed it.
They killed it.
It is one of my favorite Marvel pieces today. I got so much enjoyment out of this that like I can't recommend it enough.
One of my favorite scenes, that was a dope scene, but my favorite scene was, and it wasn't really anything to it. It was the long walk with the baritone and the sound that was going on. The sonic for it was phenomenal.
The score and the sound design, everything was just so damn good.
Can I? I gotta say one thing to WB Discovery, DCEU. This is what fan service looks like. That's all I want to say. This is what true fan service looks like, done the right way. Done the right way from top to bottom. This is what fan service looks like.
And this is what it looks like when you aren't embarrassed by your own product.
Thank you.
Because the way to do fan service, the way to service the fans is by servicing the source material that they've loved for decades.
Exactly.
And that's what they did. It wasn't, we're going to throw in this thing to like get a cheap pop over, I love Mick Foley. But this wasn't the like he would give the pop to every whatever town he was in that night. And they would all cheer and stuff.
I guarantee you, at any WB board meeting, if they were like, "Oh, let's do man thing," like,
let's do a black and white thing with Swamp Thing this time.
But think about it. They canceled Swamp Thing. They had a killer. They had a killer show. And
when they canceled that show, I was so mad, dog. That was perfectly done, and you canceled it.
It was a thriller, bro. It was a thriller. It was dark. It was what it needed to be. And you decide to take a show like that and cancel, and people were like, "Why? Like, what the fuck?"
Dude. Also, this is also like we're getting more and more where Feige and Disney is trying to kind of emulate what happens in comic books on film. Like you have your big movies, you have your Disney shows that are sequential arcs, and then in Marvel, there's plenty of times there's just here's a one shot. Here's just a book that's just
a hit, bro.
And then and then if it works, maybe you do another one. But there's one shots. And like that's what this is. And if it picks up and takes off, cool. But not everything has to be part of some huge story.
I'm so excited for one shots now. I think this was the entryway. I think
this is the beginning.
They're like, this worked. People responded so well to this. Let's do an hour long with something else. It doesn't have to be a whole series. Let's just do a kick-ass hour long on with this character, somebody that maybe we probably wouldn't get those that character, but all right, we're gonna do they could next year. This could be an annual thing where they say, okay, we're doing a Halloween special every year, and it's gonna be in that that supernatural realm, and maybe 1 year it's actually like a full man thing one, or whatever the case may be. But that's the point is
my daughter
Halloween special could become a thing. A Christmas special could become a thing, and we could get other one shots. I can't wait for this.
Hey, Vinny and Brendan, you see the product of our teachings and our growing these children to the point where
that's what I'm saying.
Cosplay. This is what she's saying, is she would play one of these characters. Just the education. That means that my work is paid off.
Those are some good choices too. Those are some damn good choices.
Hell yeah, definitely some good choices.
Now, the average person on the street isn't saying, maybe I'll be Crystal.
No, they don't
know. nah. That's doing research, bro. Yeah.
The only reason why I lean towards Storm though, because I was like,
see, here's the thing.
They could do her and Toya could do different iterations.
Toya's doing Storm next year.
Because I see Toya doing the 80s short hair style.
The Mohawk.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I want. You know what I want the next one shot to be, bro? How perfect would an avenue for this be if they did Sleepwalker?
Whoa!
Oh my god! In a one shot,
it's the one shot, and that would be dope.
I feel like it'd be, I feel like it'd be.
People wouldn't know how to handle that, man.
They might consider it risky if to do a whole plus season, and I definitely think they might feel it'd be too risky to do a film. That would be the perfect way to do Sleepwalker. Just do a 1 hour, 20 minute Sleepwalker, and I think people would be blown away. That's
Let me
one of
ask
my
y'all
all-time
boys, man.
favorites.
I'd definitely watch it. It would be
Bro,
phenomenal.
that hallway scene when Werewolf was tearing them boys up in the hallway and the blood was hitting the camera. Tell me that didn't remind you of like old school, like horror, like Freddy Krueger, Jason stuff. Like that was, I can't believe
they're
Disney
smart
did
enough
that.
to realize because you can get away with more in black and white. Just like think about Kill Bill. He stayed away from NC-17 by
black and white
black
scene.
and white during the Crazy 88 fight.
Dude, when it was hitting the camera, I was like, wow, I'm feeling that. Like that's just old school horror right there.
Think about characters that could be introduced in one shots too.
Yes.
Or maybe they've been first introduced in a movie, but then they could get their own one shot to kind of, fucking think about the new Falcon, right? Think about Joaquin Torres. All right. He's a great Falcon in the books right now.
In the books,
right?
he's good.
Great team up with Sam Wilson. And he's got a good storyline going right now, actually. And
he can kill it.
And he's already been introduced in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show.
And which now we're going to actually see him in.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be really good.
That's going to be dope. Real quick though, because I want to kind of get through some of these real quick. Before we wrap up. But our thoughts again. We want to dip into this.
Oh boy.
I want to bring this up because definitely we have to talk about it. I mean, this is and I want to know people's thoughts. I want to know people's thoughts. What they thought about it. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna bring this up. Now, I know my daughter is out there and she's watching, and it's one of those things where she was.
I gotta have a conversation with her. I gotta talk to her because trust me, this was good. I gotta talk to her.
So I will start off the back by saying that this was definitely an improvement from after episode 1 and 2. This was an improvement, after those 2 episodes going forward. It just took us so long to get to this particular point, and I guess they just want to kind of round it off a certain way. So I equated to us really looking at Jen's discovery as of who she really is and what it is that she's supposed to do. But I thought that many episodes of that discovery could have been toned down a tad bit. But to get to this point, this last episode, I thought it was good. I mean, I definitely thought it was a good episode. I thought that the comedic beats hit where they needed to be. I thought that the frog man, he basically reminded me of the vigilante from the Peacemaker show, sort of. Just the way he acted at a certain point. Yeah, he sort of reminded me of that. Again, seeing Matt Murdock, I think it was sort of one of those situations where we guessed that he was going to be a lawyer for someone coming into this actual season or coming into this episode. We just didn't know. Some of us thought it might have been Jennifer Walters, but I had no idea it would have been for the designer. And I think that was well played, the way they did it. But I was pleasantly, impressed about it. Things that I wanted to see a bit more, things that was kind of cringe because, the whole thing at the end of him walking across the lawn, boots off, and they could
walk of shame.
They could have did without that. But I don't think I don't think that in his character was too over the top funny. No, I think that he was right where he needed to be.
It was more him laughing at jokes than making jokes.
Yeah, than making jokes. He was more so laughing at him, stuff like that.
Also, what the hell else is he gonna walk home in? He didn't bring a change of clothes.
He can put his boots on though, bro.
He can put his boots on though, man.
He can at least put his boots on, bro.
Man,
they wanted the male version of the ladies' walk of shame. That's what they wanted to do.
The boots off, the bare feet. Whatever. That's what made it. Because it's like it's like a a girl doing like the walk of shame, carrying her high heels in her hand. At the end of it was funny.
Exactly.
Like,
I get it.
Where you have to divorce yourself from the serious and just be like, just let a joke be a joke, and it was a good joke. It worked.
Yeah,
and
it did.
Worked. It was a good joke.
It did. I'm not going to say it didn't. It was just kind of cringe for me. And the simple fact that the thing is, it's like
I agree.
My daughter says, you already know how I feel.
That's what I'm
She's
talking
old.
about, Silas.
She is super protective about this show, man. I'm gonna Jason. Before we get to,
I
I'm
will
gonna go
make
with
her
you first.
appreciate it yet. Don't worry.
I'm gonna go with you first, Jason. And knock you out the park, man. What did you think about this, man?
I liked the episode. I did like it. It was good to see Daredevil. I'm not used to him laughing so much. I mean, I know he was laughing at the jokes and not making the jokes, so it was cool. And I still believe that Melvin is around because when he told Jen about his suits, you know, he was saying like the new guy, what's his name? The new guy making his suits, that made his suits.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
I forget his name, but the designer or whatever. He was saying that he made a couple of new suits for me. So I think he still has the suits from Netflix. Like Melvin might be in trouble or locked up or something or whatever. But
because
that was
remember
cool.
Melvin as a gladiator, he has, you know, he has like mental breaks and stuff. So he like goes back and forth between hospitalized or in prison and stuff. So it could simply be that he wasn't around, you know. I mean, and they're just using it as a mechanism to get him out to San Francisco.
To get him out to San Francisco. Yeah.
So we could still see Melvin.
Yeah. So I'm glad about that. And I think that Foggy and I forget the girl's name, Patrice. I think her name was, or whatever, from the original show. I think they're still around too, because he was saying that about my practice. He said he kept saying we're, you know, about his law practice in New York. So some might be the same actors, but I think Foggy and this girl are still around too. So that was cool. I was happy with that.
They definitely will be.
I mean, they're bringing them
cool
back.
To
I
see
think
him.
it would be better.
Yeah, it was cool to see him with the hallway fight again, like the hallway fighting from the season 1 of Netflix, the Netflix show. I love that. I thought they really raised the bar of what She-Hulk should have been the whole time with this show. But I just didn't like the walk of shame. That was too much. That was just too much with the barefoot guy with the boots. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That part they could have held back. But other than that, I liked it, man. Daredevil was my dude. It was good to see him in the old school yellow and red. It worked out, bro. At first, I was like, "What?" But then to see him in the old school yellow and red, I think it really worked for this particular show.
I mean, I know a lot of people didn't really like. To me,
I liked it.
I thought the CGI and his agility. I wanted to see him agile. I wanted to see that level of agility.
That was dope.
And I love seeing it. I love seeing how he basically floated. I mean, literally, he was smooth with it. Like you couldn't touch him. He was almost ninja-like, which we want to see.
When
like
she cracked the ground open, bro, and he caught himself and jumped up on the car, I was like, "Whoa!"
Exactly. Okay. And if you know anything about Daredevil, if you read Daredevil books like for 5 seconds, you know that such a massive part of those books and the art and what you experience in that is the grace and agility and just the way he jumps from rooftop to rooftop, the way he moves in and out. There's this grace and there's this like it's like music. It's like
fluidity.
It's It's like it's beautiful.
Dude, when he jumped over the edge and went down the garage, I was like, yo.
And you needed that too, because remember, she just knows like power, right? She just knows to like how to jump and then just crash and land and be okay because she's damn near invincible, right?
Yeah.
So she then has to see somebody else do it a different way that is so foreign to her that she's like, oh, damn. Like, it's something new. And it's something that she realizes, well, while he does have enhanced abilities, powers, he doesn't have superpowers in the same sense that she does. So she sees what he does, and it really, like, she's like, oh, Jesus. Like, that's part of his character. And it needs to be there, especially when you have him going, you know, in the same universe with all these other super powered beings that can do all these amazing things. You need to give more emphasis than we've seen with him already to his agility and how he moves and that aspect of him. And I loved what they did there.
And see, I like the fact that she didn't know who Daredevil was. So that means that he's still street level because he stayed in the shadows the whole time fighting against the Hand or the big bads in New York. I like that. Like he's still a street level hero, which Daredevil is. I like the fact that he still has the foundation from Netflix with a little bit of a soft reboot, kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
I like that the focus was still on her regardless.
Yeah,
the focus was basically still on her as a narrative carried. You had a toss up between the both of them, but primarily, they kept it, focused on her. You know what I mean? So so the focus watch was strictly on her at all time. But yeah, I appreciated it for what it was. Vinny, what did you think about it, man?
I think it was definitely one of the better episodes. We have kind of collectively felt a little underwhelmed by the show. I really haven't truly enjoyed an episode since episode 2. So this was the first episode since then where I wasn't kind of like rolling my eyes after the credits rolled. So I enjoyed this one a lot more. It was cool seeing Daredevil back. We've talked about the tone and his character shifting a bit for this show since before it came out. So it wasn't really a surprise to me. And I felt like I was bracing for it to be even worse, to be honest with you. And it was more kind of his disposition than him being silly. Like he wasn't so depressed and moody as the shift versus him. Like it wasn't like again, he was laughing at jokes and being more lighthearted and having a good time, as opposed to just looking like his dog just died that day every episode in the Netflix show. And both versions are cool. Obviously, a lot of people are going to enjoy the Netflix version for now because that's what they know, and they might not know that there's different ways and takes on the character from the comics, and that's fine. And even if they do read the comics, they might still just enjoy a darker Daredevil more, and that's fine too. But I don't think that this Daredevil was as jovial enough to kind of just write him off. So I was happy with it. I think what I liked about this Daredevil the most was he was clearly better equipped to be a superhero in this show, because we've seen a lot of in the Netflix show was him just constantly getting his ass kicked by every and anybody. Like the hallway scene is so amazing, it's so great, but it was a little too grounded. I mean, he's it's supposed to be untouchable until he gets to someone like Kingpin. He's not supposed to be getting his ass kicked by henchman number 8. He's supposed to be able to whip them easily and only have trouble when he gets to the super villains. So him being able to just storm through that compound and just kick everyone's ass is what we're used to as comic book fans, because Daredevil shouldn't have a problem with just regular people. So that was cool seeing him just fucking fly through them, and with a lot of grace and agility, which is funny because that's what we've seen from Kingpin and Hawkeye. We've seen him be stronger. We've seen him be tougher. We've seen him be more of a threat than, like he was more grounded on a Netflix show. So clearly in Marvel, as you guys mentioned, and Brendan has said, like there's way more players, way more, bigger world that's going on. You can't have trouble with just a regular guy with a knife and then help out Avengers in a fight. It doesn't work. So, even Hawkeye is like, it doesn't miss. It's almost like a superpowered highest level human of a human. So they need Daredevil to be peak level too. So that was cool. I also liked the end where, after tons of debate and people shitting on how, shitting on men and all that shit and back and forth, and whether it's misogynist show or not. The joke is, ironically, like, Bruce Banner was right. He wasn't mansplaining after all. He tried to tell you. He was just
explaining.
He tried to tell her.
Mansplaining is supposed to be when you tell someone something common sense, like condescending, like they're stupid. He was telling you something there's no way that anyone else
that she just wasn't ready to know yet. She wasn't.
And it was like, even Mark Ruffalo was like, I'm so glad that we're getting called out for mansplaining to women because we've been doing it. Men have been doing it for years. And it's like, that's not what you were doing in that episode. You were trying to help. You were telling her what's going to happen. And sure enough, it helped. I mean, it happened, and she had something that pissed her off and she wasn't able to just handle it with dignity and maturity or whatever. Like, you have to realize, like, you have too much power to handle it like how a regular person would, so she so she has to deal with the fallout of that. And it was cool to see She-Hulk actually be pissed and mad. She actually looked scary there, and it's like, okay, Matt, wow, imagine that version of a pissed off She-Hulk, like, channeled and focused at a villain. That's going to be crazy. Like, seeing her in that mood fighting a villain in Avengers is going to be crazy. So there's a lot to pull from this that was on much higher note than what we've been on. So I was happy with this episode. Now, the fact that we had 5 episodes or so in between the jump off and this is very disappointing and such a waste. But at least we eventually got something. One more episode, and then I don't know. Well, I don't think this is going to be like on a whole a show that was like one for the record books, but we got some good out of it.
Yeah. Do y'all think that Daredevil was lighter because of how season 3 ended? Because he was kind of in a happy place when season 3 ended.
I think how they did Daredevil in the show has literally nothing to do with
it. Nothing to do with Netflix.
They're separating themselves from Netflix, period, bro.
Netflix.
So don't go into it expecting to see any tie-ins from Netflix. It's going to be a complete separation, different narrative. They might keep certain elements, but it's nothing to do with that particular story. It's completely changed. It's a different iteration.
His temperament has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, because the thing is, you even see him as a lawyer. He's even sharper as a lawyer because he's in tune with everything. And even, bro, the dope part about that whole the courtroom scene was when he looked at the goo and he was like, what type of fuel did you put in those boots? And you heard him sniff. Exactly. Like his senses, and you get a chance to see his heightened senses. And even when he looked at the designer, he's like, don't ask me how I know, I just know.
Exactly.
It's like when he says somebody understand. And the comics has much more room to breathe and show you those different ways that his other senses play out. Like, this Netflix didn't really care too much about playing off on that because they had they were a lot more action focused and drama focused. They just didn't care to go down that route. In this show, they wanted to exercise some of the things that you didn't see.
That's
and
how
that's the only.
I know.
Really, that's the only thing. A way to compare it is because you have to kind of look at it like these are just the same actors casting the same roles, and the only thing that will matter to the Netflix show is they may just consider, hey, here's some things that you haven't seen yet that they didn't do that fans of both might want to see, but you're not supposed to think, hey, you think of it like it's a multiverse, Daredevil, because it's not. Yeah, because multiverse Daredevil. Just if that helps you, just think of it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's like I just thought about it, like, because I know they're not going to use everything, not too many things from Netflix, but it's just the fact that season 3 ended on like a happier note for him, Foggy, and I keep forgetting the girl's name, but
Karen Page.
They decided to have the law practice again and add her name to it. They ended on a good note. Everybody won. Kingpin was in jail. Daredevil's name was cleared. So that's why I was thinking, like, well, he might be a little lighter hearted now, or not so much brooding
it's got
as he was before because of that.
Definitely nothing to do with it. They're going to take it in a different. They're taking it a different way. They're going to take it in a totally different. Taking the narrative in a different space, completely separating themselves from what we knew there, and I think that's what's going to really, really make sense. So I'm definitely excited about that.
But do you still think Melvin is around or no?
An iteration of Melvin will likely be around at some point.
We just got it. I guess like right now, I can't really make any speculations until we see it, because and that's where I sit. No speculations until I see it. Brendan, round us out with this, bro. Round us out with this. Your feelings on it. Everything that you saw.
I loved this episode. I had no problem with the walk of shame scene. I thought the joke worked. It hit. All right. I'm also of the mind that people can like it or not. I thought, as much as I think the show has faltered, I thought the twerking scene with Megan Thee Stallion, I laughed at that. Okay, I don't give a shit about it. You don't like it, tough. But here's the thing. This worked because it was faithful to all the characters involved. This was the kind of stuff that we see in the She-Hulk comic books. All right. The courtroom stuff was great. It was the best courtroom stuff that they've done in the whole show so far. Matt Murdock in this, if people don't like it, it's like, you gotta, again, I've been telling people, stop thinking that the Netflix Daredevil is the all-encompassing everything that we should expect from the Daredevil character. All right. I've read every single Daredevil book ever written. I'm telling you, this stuff was very much in line because there's a running joke dating all the way back to the 1960s, right? 1964 when he first appeared. There's a running joke throughout the Daredevil books about how the blind guy continuously finds and hooks up with the hottest women imaginable. Okay. And Foggy and they made this joke in the Netflix show too, mind you. Is constantly like, how do you know, God damn it? Like, how do you know that she's so hot? Right? Every time with Elektra, with Natasha Romanoff, all right, with Kirsten McDuffie, with his wife, yes, he was married for a long stretch in the books, Mila, who was also blind. All right. There's just this long litany of beautiful women that he hooks up with, and it drives Foggy nuts because he really wants to know how he does this. All right. That joke was made in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, co-starring Coolio. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, there was literally nothing done with Daredevil in this that was out of character for him if you know his character in the books, including things that were done in this that we haven't seen before. Like Lael pointed out, with the agility and the way he was able to move. Vinny pointed out where he wasn't having trouble with henchman number 3 the way he was in Netflix Daredevil. And the Netflix Daredevil show was great. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, he was still learning how to be who he was trying to be in that, right? Yeah. His powers have to elevate, all right? He has to hone them. His skills have to improve, and he has to get to a level where, right, and you can see they're doing that. They're leveling him up just like they leveled up Kingpin and Hawkeye, and a lot of people didn't like that. They didn't. But here's the thing. Those characters, two things. One is, in the books, that's the way they are. In the books, Kingpin throws down with some seriously powerful heroes, okay? Yeah. And he can do that, okay? And then to put it bluntly, the Kingpin and the Daredevil that we got in the Netflix series, as much as we like them, they would not be able to stand a chance in a legitimate fight against 9 out of 10 of the people that we have in the MCU proper. They wouldn't, right? So if we're going to bring them in, then we've got to bring them in a way where, like, you know what? Daredevil could hold his own against Spider-Man, right? Yeah. Daredevil could give these guys a challenge, right? We have to be able to have that. Exactly. And that's what they're doing here, right? The red and yellow, people hate that, and they think, oh, it's like they picked it for this show, and it's just the watering down of... Man, the red and yellow is iconic.
Synonymously,
it was the first suit that he ever wore. He wore it for the first 6 issues of Daredevil. The very first 6 issues. Okay,
he made the suit out of his dad's robe.
Exactly, it's a tribute to his dad, Batlin Jack Murdoch. Okay, the way that they did this in that, right? It was so well done. And they even cracked the joke where, Jen, made the joke about it being like ketchup and mustard. And he's like, you're really going to insult the blind guy here. It was a funny joke. It worked to make light of the fact that, yes, it is, from the campier days of comics with that suit, but it does hold importance to him. There's relevance to it, and so they acknowledge that.
Bro.
Again,
even when he was on a roof, like that was a dope part when he was on a roof and he was able to tell her how many the distinguishing between goons and henchmen and how many goons were basically in
that
the
was
building.
100% in line with the She-Hulk comic books, and also speaks to what Vinny said about he's starting to recognize the levels of these and be like, this guy shouldn't give me problems. Like this guy counts as like half of a bad guy that I gotta face. This, you know what I mean? So everything was in line with this. This really was, there are constant jokes about how he always hooks up with like the beautiful women. And then they use that in this with him and Jen. Everything was in line with that. Okay. And like some people in the chat have started to come around and like Vinny and Jason said, Lael said it before. It's like, this is that soft reboot of Daredevil. This is not the Netflix Daredevil. Okay.
Yeah.
We can't go back to that because you think about it, and like Jason, you pointed out, like, is it because he's in a better place in his life after season 3? It's like, no, it's because the thing is, they have to do things differently than the Netflix show if they want to continue with this character and do it well. Because guess what? We got 4 seasons of the people in his life really struggling with who he was as Daredevil. All right. We got the first 2 seasons, then we got Defenders, and then we got the 3rd season. Okay. Where like we can't just spend the whole next show with Foggy arguing with him about being Daredevil, right? At some point, those characters accept it and they deal with the struggles that come with that as they come, but they're not just constantly like yelling at him about, you got to stop doing this, you got to stop being Daredevil. Okay. We need more from those characters, and we're going to get it in this next show. We need Kingpin and Daredevil to be elevated to the same level as the rest of the MCU, and we're getting that. They've already shown us that with Kingpin in Hawkeye. They just showed us with the agility that we saw with Daredevil in this, all right? We need to get these characters into a place where they can stand in with the rest of this MCU, and that's what we're getting. We need characters like Ben Urich, who is so important to Daredevil. We need him back. As much as I love the actor and the performance from the first season when he got killed, I thought it was the biggest mistake that they made on that show. Second, the only other one that was a close second was the way they handled the hand. Okay. Those were like neck and neck, but I love Ben Urich so much that was the big one for me. But now we can get a proper Ben Urich storyline in this. We can get a proper origin of and fleshing out of the hand. Okay, I'm all for bringing Elodie Young back as Elektra if they can work that out. But like, we have all these characters. Bullseye is another one. Typhoid Mary, which they wasted on the 2nd season of Iron Fist, right? All of these characters that can be brought in and done justice on this new show.
Give me the real Typhoid Mary.
Exactly.
That bullshit that you gave me in that bit. I hated that, bro. I hated that.
Changed her,
so
and
much,
they used her
bro.
on Iron Fist. I'm like, why are you using her on
Why
Iron
the
Fist?
fuck are you doing that, bro? It made no sense, bro. Like, don't undervalue that character and her importance, especially after what we actually. Come on, man, stop.
So for all the people who are all hardcore, no, Disney Plus is going to ruin it. We need it to be
they're going to give us their
one. No. Because the best chance that we have at a great Daredevil show is if Marvel and Kevin Feige do their version of Daredevil that also fits into this MCU. That is the best hope that we have for this character.
I think they're going to do it right,
lifelong Daredevil fan, I'm telling you, that's the way to go. And everything about this episode, they delivered in terms of She-Hulk and in terms of Daredevil. And the great thing is they use Daredevil not just as a cameo, not just to get people excited about him being in the MCU, but they used him in a way to actually move Jen's story forward in a way that they should have done 3 or 4 episodes prior, right? Because her whole thing was initially she doesn't want to be a superhero. All right. Now she's a Hulk. And I can see, all right, have her push back and not want to take the advice from Bruce. Maybe there's a little resentment because he's the source of her becoming a Hulk now. And she doesn't want him telling her that she has to do things the way he says. Right. But then when you get Matt coming in and saying, look, this is how you superhero. This is how you make a difference, right?
Yeah.
And he's the right person to say, look, you can do what you do during the day as a lawyer, and then you can fill those gaps. You can make a difference when the law fails. You can make a difference. Yeah, exactly.
But you can tell that he got through to her too, big time.
Yeah, because her aspect was like, why when I'm making more of a difference like this? And he's like, look,
you can do it as both.
You can do both.
Yeah, and she needed to hear that from somebody that wasn't Bruce. She needed to hear that from somebody that she doesn't have this like sibling rivalry type thing, even though they're cousins, like that family aspect. She needed to hear it from somebody else who didn't know her prior to all of this, all right, and is in a similar situation as her, where he is a lawyer by day and then does what he thinks he can't do during the day as his superhero identity at night. She needed that. And if they had done that earlier in the show, then we could have gotten the Jen that we wanted. We could have gotten subsequent episodes where, okay, she recognizes that. Now she's going on that journey because she's got that focus. She's got that determination, right? And that's what they needed to do 3-4 episodes ago. And I liked, there we go. I liked, the kind of tease at the end of her kind of going Savage Hulk, right? Where she was starting to lose control, and you heard it in that growl. Cool. And it's like, wait a minute. All right, so now she's got something that would actually bring Bruce back in and helping her try and kind of control that. But also it's like there's the Savage She-Hulk part of the books is really entertaining, is really good. She was a Savage She-Hulk as part of the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
They can do more with that. But like to just introduce it in the last couple of seconds of the penultimate episode, and you only have the finale left, that should have been done before. So she's got the legal aspect, but now she's like, I'm starting to figure this out. But what happens if I lose control like Bruce used to? Can I still do this? Can I still be the lawyer and the superhero? There's a lot of tension and conflict there that would have been for a great show that they didn't do early enough. And that is the part that it's like, damn, that sucks, because if they did this stuff earlier and got rid of the wedding bullshit and all those filler episodes, we could have had something big. Not to mention they like low key dropped one of the biggest teases in this episode.
Red Hulk.
I hated that.
Nobody was talking about it.
No one mentioned it, and it was like, all right, does her saying Red Hulk mean
I told y'all it's coming.
Because it's almost like her saying it means that would be too silly, so we're gonna just use it as a throwaway joke here, or is that like a tease? Like,
damn
it could
well
go either way.
That was
because they've done
stuff in our faces for a reason, bro.
Because they've done stuff where they mention something and it's like, oh shit, because they mentioned that, they're definitely not going to do it. And then they've done stuff where, all right, we're going to just throw this carrot out there and see if the fans go wild for it. If not, maybe they'll just make a decision.
Yeah.
But with the Thunderbolts and everything, you can tell they did not drop that as just a joke. I
told y'all they're going to do it.
Kevin Feige saying, guys, it's happening.
Yeah,
we'll see. I hope that's the case. But it was really important distinction. My fault, Jason. 1 second. I just wanted to say that her going to Savage She-Hulk in that scene, I feel like that was something that was really cool and important to see, because like Brendan mentioned, like there is that version of her that she has under control in the comics, or needs in the comics, whereas every fight that we've seen her in this show has been like, fighting your little 5-year-old brother, where you don't need your strength at all. It's just she's so much more powerful than everyone she's had to fight. So what happens when like Hulk has had to fight people like Abomination, not just like people like not just goons. So what happens when you need that, not just when you can't just rely on that you're stronger than everybody? What happens when you fight someone stronger than you, which she hasn't had to deal with? You're going to need that rage, so that way she can get stronger as she gets angrier. And that's part of all the shit that Bruce was trying to explain to her.
Trying to tell her.
Yep.
So, and she's learning that now.
Yeah.
She's definitely learning that now. So, anyway, man, I mean, all around great discussion about it. Like I said, I mean, hopefully this finale it's going to be dope. Real quick before we close out of here, I just want to actually just talk about just bring it up briefly, really quick. And that's just the, moment of silence, pretty much, for one of the greatest artists that this world has lost, is gone too soon. You know, Kim Jung Gi, you know, pretty much one of the greats. Such a humble dude. I know, Vinny, you got a chance to talk to him when he was at Comic-Con. Toya did as well. Great all around talent. And, you know, again, you know, to say that he went out the way he did, we don't know what the situation, you know, might have actually been and how serious it could have been. You know, there might have been some warnings before then. But at the same time, you know, we get the chance to celebrate his life, the body of work that he's actually given us over the years. He's such a pillar in the art community, and so gracious, so humble as well. Just to see him do his work. I'm honestly, no pun intended, I am a fan of his work. So definitely shout out to this guy. Anybody out there who knows, you know, Kim Jung Gi and his work and what he's done for the community, you know that you've witnessed greatness. And, you know, I couldn't imagine a better guy out there. And he's so phenomenal. Vinny, you want to say something, man?
If you have time, literally, you could just go down a rabbit hole of watching him draw. This man, without any pencil as precursor, will just take ink and go hard at a giant whiteboard any given day. And the stuff that is he's not just drawing like people or buildings. He's drawing
intricate.
He's drawing these intricate, creative pieces of like aliens or, you know, creatures and mashups of creatures and aliens and people and all kinds of different things. So many, just the imagination flows and pours out of his mind. And
you would think it would take a month to draw.
I mean, he works huge too. Like he's done small work, but he does murals. He does murals of intricate small pieces. Like you think of some of the George Perez pieces that are like really confined. Well, he'll do that just off the top of the dome on giant billboards and walls. So I would highly recommend just Google Kim Jung Gi and check out his YouTube. There is actually a buddy of mine who's also an artist and was such a super fan of him as well. He was part of a studio, and that was the Superani studio. And there is actually a special that they did touring the studio during the pandemic, where he knew that they had fans visit the studio all the time, check stuff out. He does this tour, walking around the studio, talking with other artists there, and just this dude could have been a comedian if he wasn't an artist. He was one of the funnest, silliest, most lighthearted people you've ever met. And I think that is a big part of why the community is so saddened by this loss, because it isn't just that he was such a talent. It's that literally every person who's ever met him and crossed paths with him has some great story to tell of how funny he was and nice he was and kind-hearted he was. And like, you literally never find anybody with a bad thing to say about him. And I mean, literally he passed on coming to New York Comic-Con this year. It's like he was going to be there. It's just such 47 years old is just way too young to go. It's very sad. It's very heartbreaking. You know, there's so many people there just absolutely rocked by the news, and people in the industry and people who knew him. So shout out to his, friends and family and fans that are going to be reeling from this forever, because he will be missed. And, one good thing is, he'll never die. Artists never die. That his work will live on forever and ever. And, the amount of work that he did and people that moved,
to hear him talk, and just like one of the things that he said that was incredible, man, was like, to hear him asking questions about how he comes up with his pieces. And he was like, what I'm doing and how I vision it is that when my hand is, steadily working on this, small intricate space, my mind is already on the next connective tissue going into, like, he's juxtaposing so many different things going forward, that this piece right here, while he's working on that, he's looking at this space while he's working on that, what's going to go here. And it's just to hear him talk about it.
He's playing chess while other people were playing checkers.
Bro.
Like, he's like a musician who can just freestyle without writing.
Without writing,
bro. All comes off.
You see the music on the sheet before you put it on there. That's
exactly
awesome,
perfect. Perfectly said. He sees the notes on the sheets before he even puts it on there, bro, because he knows where he's going. And that's what's phenomenal about artists like that. I mean, Vinny, you've done it. Basically taking some of your work and seeing things before we see them, the juxtaposition and pieces that you do. I'm like, how the fuck do you think about shit like that? Like I'm like, okay, I can imagine it, but when somebody says a word and you take that word and just take it in so many different, that's what artists do. Renz Talentino, that's what motherfuckers who are really, really dope ass artists, they're not thinking about, just one particular piece. They're thinking about 5 or 6 steps ahead of what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I think that's an ingenious part of being such an artist, and that's what makes him him. Yeah. He's definitely going to be missed. He will definitely be missed as an artist, man.
I just want to point out I'm very proud of your daughter.
Yeah, what happened?
I forgot to bring something up, and she remembered, and she brought it up about the Sokovia Accords.
Yep, they were repealed.
They were repealed.
Yeah,
which is the first mention that we've had of that.
Yeah,
since Endgame, since they all came back, right?
Yeah, I think
no other because it wasn't mentioned in Ms. Marvel, and I was like, wait, is she even allowed to be doing this in Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight? Like, so this is the first that they've mentioned it, and
they have not mentioned it.
It's a huge deal
until now, and that it's confirmation, and it's like, it was repealed, right? Because that was kind of a hole that we were all like, well, we've got like Ms. Marvel, and we've got we've got Spider-Man. And we've got and it's like the Sokovia Accords were repealed, and that was a big pillar within the MCU.
Yeah,
and this was the first confirmation that and they just kind of dropped it in this show, which has been rather lackluster, but that's where we got confirmation of that, and that's big moving forward, and how superheroes are handled in this, because they don't have that hurdle to deal with.
Yeah, great call out. Yeah,
I think they were repealed because they brought everybody back. If it wasn't for the Avengers,
it makes sense that when all the superheroes that were still alive brought everybody else back, and then all the superheroes that were alive and then the ones that were brought back all saved the world again, that they would be like, all right, you guys are pretty awesome, so they would repeal them. But we've had
the government will want more superheroes to take care of the earth,
but we've had an entire phase where they haven't mentioned the Sokovia Accords in that realm at all. This was the first time they did. Now, whether that was the plan, or they were kind of like, oh yeah, we should probably mention or cover that that plot hole, and they just decided to do it in this. I don't know, but because to be honest, you would have thought that maybe that would have been brought up in Falcon and Winter Soldier or something like that, but it wasn't. But again, the show by and large has been a disappointment, but we have had some pretty important things pop up in it. Like this with the Sokovia Accords and Daredevil, because we hadn't had Daredevil in the MCU yet. We had Matt Murdock, but we hadn't actually seen Daredevil. Now we have. So they have done some things, and we hadn't actually, even though we had seen Thunderbolt Ross, before the actor's passing, William Hurt's passing, we hadn't actually had any other references to Red Hulk until this show.
He gonna be back.
I 100% believe that Red Hulk is coming. I 100% more than ever now with that team.
It was something that Brendan said on some shows we did way back. I think when the second show of She-Hulk that we watched, and I think we discussed I think I said something to Brendan about, I think Daredevil's going to save this show, and Brendan said, I hope not, because I hate that, and
it turned out that but he didn't save it, because the show is still going to be looked at, I think, by most as a disappointment. He's been in what for me was the best, most entertaining,
the best one
so far. Although I really enjoyed the first episode too. So the first. But obviously, I lean more toward Daredevil. But I also think this had the best courtroom content that we've seen in the whole show. I don't really think that's debatable. So for me, this was the most enjoyment I got out of it was in this episode. But to me, that doesn't save the series as a whole. It just made me happy that I got to watch that episode. Because I had said from the beginning, this can't be Book of Boba, like Mando coming in and
yeah, we talked about that. Like after the second show,
if the show is going to be seen as a success. And right now, I think this was the best thing that they had done, which was Daredevil coming in. And so I don't think that makes the show a success. I think it makes the episode a success.
The episode, yeah.
We'll see what they do with the finale.
This was definitely Mando and Book of Boba episode.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, anyway, guys, we're gonna wind it down, like I said, because we went long. We're already at 2 hours and 18 minutes. You know, so thanks everybody for basically being here with us, man. I'm gonna start with you, Brendan. What you got going on, man? What you got coming up, bro?
Man, I'm just Andor this week that I can't wait for, because that show has just I've been so captivated. So Andor coming up, and then also the finale of She-Hulk. We'll see where that goes. I'm gonna try and sneak out to the movies at some point this week and see Amsterdam, that film with Christian Bale and Margot Robbie, and
that's good,
and John David Washington. Like it looks great. Hasn't done well at the box office, but I'm still hopeful, so I'm going to go check that out. New comic books this week. I've really been enjoying the Judgment Day, the Axe Judgment Day crossover. I know some people haven't, but I mean, seeing the ways that they've judged different characters, like the Jean Grey issue, like I've really, really dug it. So I've been enjoying that a lot. So I'm looking forward to the tie-ins that they've got coming this week. Daredevil issue number 4 is on Wednesday too, so obviously I'm excited for that. And then I'm gonna at some point I will film a little video content with this bad boy that just came in today, actually.
That thing is awesome, man.
So this is the XM Studios 1/6 scale Rebirth Green Arrow, and I'm absolutely loving this guy. So this just came in today. So I'll do a little bit of a video with that guy. So yeah, just comics and hopefully some good shows and stuff and good movies. That's about it.
Dope. If you haven't already, follow Brendan, aka Butt Naked Assassin at Max. Well, no,
not that you still haven't taken that off. Just
take it out.
The Collector
without fear. I got to take that out, but we'll definitely make sure that that's edited and taken out.
It'll be like 6 months before he does.
I'll do it now. Hey, Vinny, what you got?
He'll send out those Miles Morales prints from like a year ago out before he changes that.
Well, with this shit, I'll send yours out with this shit so you get out of my hair. Anyway, what you got going on, bro, Vinny? What's up with you, man?
Inktober. So I'm just focusing on going in as much as I can. I've been really inspired coming off of Comic-Con, as I always am. It's such a, I don't know. It's
rejuvenating, bro.
As big as it is for most fans, it's like as someone who draws and likes to do that as at least a side gig, that it's just so inspiring to see other artists killing it, other artists that I learn from and inspired by and network with, and I always leave there just wanting to go home and just draw my ass off, and it's so it's such an exciting feeling to have a little bit more time now here this part of the season. So it always goes hand in hand, because New York Comic Con usually falls where the season lightens up for me and I get more time to draw anyway. So I'm going in on these Inktober's. I got another 21 more days of it to go. So there's a lot more work to come from those. Each day there'll be something new, that ties in with that word that day. And then I have a whole bunch of art outside of Inktober that I look forward to getting up and getting out. And then I just want to start booking cons for this late fall and winter and spring to get out there and get out there more and push the stuff. So so definitely just grinding. If you guys want to check out more of the Inktober stuff or any other art or interested in any prints, all that stuff, you can start off by just hitting up my Instagram, Vincent Dunn Art, and need anything, want anything, have any interest, hit me up. And you
can see Vincent Dunn Art next year at New York Comic Con.
Man, you know what's funny? It's like,
nope, you gonna do it.
That'd be awesome.
It's like I want a clone, bro, because I want a table, but I also want to enjoy the show too.
Nope,
it's like,
nope.
You gotta sell your work, man. You gotta
at some point, you make that leap. You just gotta make the sacrifice.
You gotta sit down.
Sit your ass down, bro.
Yeah,
sit your ass down.
It's all right. I'm just gonna have the room watch the table.
Put some work up and sell it, dog. Like, come on, man. Sit your ass down and sell some work. That'll be awesome, though. Stop playing. This guy would have run all over the damn.
They call them booth babes at the con, but it'll be changed to room babes. And they'll just watch the table for me.
Look, have them all standing around cosplaying, bro. Just have them all standing around. It has the handmaid,
absolutely
Handmaid's Tale all around
you.
You
gotta do.
Yep, I need a red Copic. There you go. Just
there you go.
You just still, and then they can watch the table while I go do a lap around.
I
mean, So yeah, that's definitely the focus. Is just keep building it, towards that. So I'm hoping that it's possible that next year,
definitely,
for 23, that maybe I'll be there at the table.
Definitely. If you haven't already, Vincent Dunn Art on Instagram, and also the link to his store is there as well. You can see some of these amazing pieces.
There you go, Rand. Mobile booth. I'll just bring the booth with me. I'll get a TV tray, hook it up. Just you can buy from me anywhere. Just
moving too fast for anybody to follow.
Yeah, you don't stay still, bro. From what I'm hearing,
shit,
you don't sit your ass
you
still.
Move too fast.
Back to the drawing board, literally. All right, I'll think about it.
Sit your ass down and just draw, bro. Like you said, and embellish.
That's it.
What
you
do
gotta
you want?
come up with some sort of like ATM.
Why walk around when you can just sit down and make money?
Yeah, sit down and make money.
You can sit down and make some bread, bro. That's plain and simple, bro. That's how you do.
Dude, bro.
We'll go out and get the pizza and bring it back. You just sit your ass down. And
that's it, bro.
There you go.
Draw it. There you go. I care, but what you got coming up, bro?
I gotta pick up some comics. I got a lot of comics I gotta pick up from my boy. I got in the shop. I got like 25 comics I gotta go pick up. I got Moth in this week. Huh?
Read the new
Spider-Man, you say?
Not Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man #1 that just dropped last week, I think.
Oh, another. Oh, I gotta. Okay.
It's a new just Spider-Man, no adjective, just Spider-Man #1.
Okay.
Dan Slott wrote it. This is setting up like the end of like the Spider-Verse with all the different universes, different Spider. The first issue, fucking good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Focus. I gotta pick that up. I just got in Moth. That thing is awesome. Moth Gideon. I got in Dark Trooper. I got 2 of those.
Did you get Cable?
I have Cable coming. Cable's coming.
I got Cable the other day. I like that figure.
I got the regular one. I got like you said. I got the regular one.
Too.
I didn't need that shield shit. So and that's it for me, man.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for stepping through.
These things are awesome. I just picked these up.
Oh, you got those?
Nice.
Yeah, they're like the detail like micro machine things.
Yeah.
These things are awesome, man. I grabbed 2 of them. I got this one. I got the Razor Crest so far.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't already followed Jedi Kid at Master Sergeant on Instagram, so make sure you do that. Everybody out there, thank you for attending. Thank you for watching and being with us all night. Scarlett, I'm proud of you, baby. I'm so proud of your knowledge.
Yeah, she hit the mark.
Tonight. I'm on my way up. Shout out to Renz Talentino, my man Tobar, everybody out in the chat. Benjamin Green. Let's see who else we got, man. Just everybody out there. If I haven't mentioned you, and hey, cons is basically for everybody. You'll always get something from it. I would love to meet everybody here in the chat at next year's Comic-Con. It would be so fun. It was so nice to meet so many individuals. I had a chance to meet Nick from Nick's Collectibles. He dressed up as Spider-Man. He was there the entire time. He killed it.
We're gonna get everybody together next year. We're gonna
get everybody. We can just have
butt naked bash.
Straight up,
butt naked bash, and we're gonna get everybody.
Bash and everybody's on Dipset duty. I can just sit my ass down and eat, and I'll let y'all basically follow and do what you got to do, man.
Working shifts.
Shit's hard. But anyway,
bring my wheelchair.
Basically being here, man.
See Leo walking with his boots because his feet hurt, just like Daredevil.
Better shoes. I'll have better shoes this time, so definitely it's gonna be better shoes.
He's gonna be using a lightsaber as a cane
doing a walk up.
Year.
Yeah, the walk up pain instead of walk up.
Trying to walk around in retro ones.
Oh, killed my bro. He did too. It wasn't just me. It was him too. It's just
he's gonna come to the con next year with those sneakers that have like the rollerblades built into the bottom, so he can just roll.
Hell yeah, I'll take the motherfuckers all day. Let's go. You might even see me with a hoverboard across that.
LA Gears. LA Gears.
There you go.
Anyway. Everybody, thank you for basically being here. It's been a great show, great discussion. I mean, the con was great. All discussions were great. Tune in for us next Monday. We will be back here, same time, same channel. Who knows what we'll talk about? Probably the final episode of She-Hulk and whatever other announcements going to be made. One announcement that I know this guy is going to be happy about, but we're not going to talk about it on the show because I know he will go hard with it. We're just going to leave it alone. Just shut up. Leave it alone.
I already know.
So anyway, talk to you guys again. Thank you for being here. Have a great night. We are out. Peace, love, and hair grease, all that good stuff. Peace.